He basically
Nice
is.
burn.
Oh, I think we fucked
But
ourselves over with 4 people, right?
no, you're good. You
Why?
can't have five. You can't have five. You can have
I
four if you
know,
can't have
but
five.
then it's like 6 would be better because we're gonna be paired up with like.
You scared, bro? We're gonna lock this in. We're gonna win, bro. Yeah, bro. I'm here for the pain, okay?
For
I'm
the
not here for
pain.
the W's. Exactly.
No
We're gonna earn the
pain, no.
GM, brother. All right. We're not gonna, little fly. Okay. Today we're locked in. Rocks. No excuse.
Oh,
All right.
I'm the only platinum here.
On gang,
Love
bro.
it.
We're gonna help them
You're
up.
already plat 1.
Exactly.
You're
That's
aren't you
only
at
if we
like
win, dude.
15 or
And
something?
I'm here
We
for it.
literally
I'm
just
here
have
for
to
it,
win
T.
2 and then you're good.
I'm
That's
here for
only
it,
if we
T.
win,
Okay.
bro.
Yeah,
I'm
you
here
only
for
have
it.
to win 2, right?
I don't know.
You're at 50, right? Aren't you?
I'm a 58.
Yeah, dude, you're about to get 30 for 30 something. Yeah, just have to win. And
God.
you'll lose like 15 maybe.
I'm here for
You're
a
fine.
long time, not a good time. All right. I'm here for the pain.
Aren't you supposed to be here for a good time, not a long time?
Rocks. When I play with you, rank, it's a 50-50. Okay.
What? What? Why specifically me? What the fuck did I do? What the fuck did I do? What the fuck is
It's what
queuing
you
up
don't
with
do.
me? It's what I don't.
What you
Oh my
doing, dude?
god. I might just throw up.
Crazy.
What did I not? What did I do?
I'm just saying.
All right. Are you ready to play the game?
It's
Are we
always
mentally
choosing
are we
that
mentally
game.
checked in?
Let Stepbro answer the
Yes.
question. Let Stepbro answer the question. What don't I do?
You give me 70%. You don't give me the 100%.
100% of what? What do you want? Huh?
I hear call outs on
Wait,
me
wait,
over
man, why'd
there.
you leave? What the fuck?
Huh?
You left the collab. What the fuck?
Oh, I didn't.
Yes, you did. It literally shows
No,
me
he
by
didn't.
myself.
He didn't. He's there.
I hear the call outs of here,
I still
over
see it on
there,
my
It really
screen.
says share chat.
on me. I never hear that.
Yeah,
I'm
we
holding
see it
in
on
three,
hers
two,
as well.
one.
Like, and this stream is right there, right
I'm
there.
never like I'm with you.
Am I
You
tweaking
know,
or
I'm
is she
with
tweaking?
you.
like I'm with, keep
He's
fighting.
tweaking.
I never hear
I'm
that.
not tweaking. It literally shows me by myself in the call.
You
Oh my
you
god.
you are with Mad right now. It shows me you are with Mad.
Okay, but it shows me by myself in the call.
Oh, I closed that window. You don't
Then
need to keep that open.
Oh, I don't?
As long as the share
How do
chat's
Yeah,
enabled, you don't need to keep the call window open.
yeah, we can close
I
it.
did not know that.
Oh,
Okay.
thought you knew that.
No.
the more you learn.
How did you just notice that
L
wasn't it
streamer, L
like this time
streamer.
out of all times?
I'm a part-time streamer and I know
Wait,
that.
no.
Rocks.
Okay, don't worry about it. We're locked in mentally.
This guy
That
just keeps talking.
log back into the game.
Like, what?
Hey, if you don't have a hater in your life, that
What you
means
did
I'm
is
dead.
all for none. Mr. Blue Benji, well dressed gem.
Got all
Am I
for none
staying
on their
tank today
team.
or DPS today?
Think you want to be today?
He's here. You don't have to be on stage necessarily.
Who are you calling a raccoon, huh?
Okay.
Hey, I
I
told you,
just
T,
had
you're
to
only
take
taking
it.
a break from tanking and Overwatch.
Oh my
100%.
god.
Now, who am I gonna banish from this?
Hey,
I
yo,
swear
no one
this
wants to
is
play
gonna have to change on
Cyclops?
me.
Fuck yeah, ban that bitch straight up.
Where is he?
Alright.
All right.
What you did is skill issue? Oh, what? Wait, who are you talking to? Me? Am I the skill issue? Goddamn.
That's crazy.
Ooh, nice.
Wow,
Do we go
low
for
key,
tank?
bro. Low key mod that guy.
Then Hawkeye.
Man, Hawkeye.
Who's gonna play Hawkeye?
Then he clicked on Gambit. I'm so confused.
Yeah, why Hawkeye? That's a very specific band.
Maybe he just
Maybe he has a
maybe
tracker.
clicked by accident.
Wait,
They did Daredevil, they have a tracker.
He middle
Or
mouse
no,
clicked when he was trying to
Daredevil
scroll type shit, you know?
Yeah,
And
ban here.
I wanna ban
Uh,
Namor.
All bans?
Namour's fair.
No. Let's ban. Oh fuck.
why is this L bans, bro?
I think Hela is the better ban because if they have a Spidey, we got a Namor.
No, because I mean, Namor's old is the issue.
Technically.
Okay.
Because if you don't
I'm
avoid
fine.
it, you can
I'm
use
fine
the
with these
skill
bans.
before-
If he
After all.
technically, if he's
Pick your
dead,
hero.
you know what I
Or
mean.
villain, I'm not judging.
Yeah, but if you're not gonna kill him,
L
which
ban.
happens most of the times, he doesn't die.
I got my Cyclops ban. I'm good.
Zebra, where you going? Support or DPS?
I'm probably gonna go invis. If you want to go DP, I can.
That's up to you.
Bro.
Why is this guy chaining? No,
Iris
T,
is
lock in.
It's
lock
my
in.
first game. It's my first game. I'm going
lock
heals.
in, T. Lock it in. What the
Oh wait,
fuck?
okay,
Okay.
he went.
Okay.
What?
It's my
He
first
went-
game. I'll go heals.
He went DPS, so I went tank. I'm sorry, I'll switch.
Switch back.
Oh, he switched again. Oh wait, now I'm confused.
All right. I guess you're a tank now.
Because you weren't locking the
30
fuck
seconds
in.
before you attack. Get ready.
You're gonna
was
have to
talking
keep our
with
Spidey alive here. So whenever you get the chance, try to heal him. I'll heal.
Why am I getting yelled at? It's my
Like,
first
I'll-
game.
Spidey alive. It's not really on me. It's more on him.
No. What
Should've
I
just
mean is,
locked in your
if you
character,
see him
bro.
swinging around.
Yeah,
If you see him
If I see
swing,
him, that's the key word.
hit him 2-3 times and then go back to tanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
That's usually what I do, but yeah. If I can't see him, I can't do shit.
One.
and then if they're diving us, just look at me and we'll be able to win.
Oh, posture check, guys. No shrimpy, no shrimpy, no shrimp. Straighten those backs up, okay, guys? Lock the fuck in. Straighten them backs. Let's go.
All right.
I'm late.
Whatever you're saying. They have a storm? Is that a storm, bro? Oh. Okay.
Yes, it is, and that's Spidey.
Or
have a Spider-Man.
storm and
I'm with
that
you,
is
Matthew, you're
strange also and the Spider-Man. They got like our whole team.
5 points.
Yeah.
5 points.
Guys, go on point. Don't go over there. Go on point.
Ready?
With you.
Strange
You're
dead.
dead.
Oh, the Luna and the
Okay, heal yourself.
Rocket. Oh,
He's
Spidey's
so
pretty low.
He's one tap.
Storm.
No. Oh, did you get him? Oh, Spidey got him.
Dead.
Thank you.
Spidey.
Caught out by Spidey again.
All right, I'm coming back.
Spidey have.
He's running. He's running.
Yeah.
I'm on his ass. Okay.
Come back
I
to
got
market.
Luna froze me.
Point,
Back
stay on
your door.
point, go faster.
It's fine.
Oh, good. They have a thing now.
Where are you?
They have a thing for our fucking DPS.
Yeah, wouldn't make sense. I don't like the fact they're all Lord characters. Okay. Think it's not gonna last that long. Don't go that far.
Spidey is the back.
It's okay. I'm
Spidey dead.
Oh, I didn't mean to look. Oh, where the fuck did this guy come from?
Look at our door here. Look at our thing.
Guys, remember the thing goes for my shield?
Yeah.
So careful.
Careful.
Thing going for supports. Thing low.
Yeah, they all
Okay,
ran.
Nice.
They're
Rocket over
all-
here, by the way, Rocket.
Oh, he,
Stop.
fuck, he got revived. They got revived from the beacon.
Rocket
Oh
back.
my god, thing back. Guys, supports go back.
They're down a tank.
And I'm dead. I'm dead by the way, right?
Oh, fuck. I was trying to ult. I'm sorry.
Alright, I'm gonna die there.
You're great.
The thing solo ulted me? What the fuck?
He killed both of us.
Oh, it was both of them?
Yeah. He was boosted. He was boosted there. That's why he
Okay.
killed.
To battle again.
Yeah, the rocket ult. They still have the Luna ult.
That's kind of annoying
I
how they
don't
have
know.
three. They have three boosts. They have a speed boost. They have a damage boost. They have another damage.
And then they have the Deadpool. Yeah, the
You
fucking.
can stack that. You can stack that.
Oh, shit. And then they have the thing like team up like with. I'm not the team up, but when he like usually the shield part.
Yeah. Okay, guys, get point. We're gonna push them back. They're going towards you guys. We're going towards you guys.
You want all first? Go for it.
No, you.
I'm ulting.
I am ready to put on a show.
Destroy that one's halt. Ah, you didn't manage to get it. Damn. No, you went out
Get
of my
Deadpool. Get
shield.
Deadpool. Oh, okay. Fuck. I'm
Yeah,
getting
what
Deadpool.
Deadpool?
I'm getting Deadpool. He's dead.
What Deadpool?
He was behind you before you got to the point.
Die in your ult.
Took the portal around. That was just chasing his ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
they do
even
enough
if,
damage to kill it.
yeah, but I was on the side of it.
Can we? Okay, thank you.
I
Guys,
usually wouldn't kill me at full.
I mean, maybe you were.
All right, there's a chance they portal this because it's close.
Yeah, they're gonna portal. Yeah. Yep.
Spidey,
You
gonna
got
have
to
to stop that.
Go back to point. Go back to point.
Worthy foe.
They already portal.
Go back to point.
Very good.
I almost have ult.
Finish low.
Doors one.
Luna low. Or they
No winner yet.
Yeah, but they're dead.
Okay.
Luna's still running around here. Luna's dead. Farm.
Some low.
Oh,
This comes
Some
up.
dead. Nice,
don't
nice.
got me.
I see an invis.
Invis. Don't let her. Oh, okay. Holy fuck. When did they get an invis? Oh, they swapped.
I'm assuming they switched in the last second. Wait, no, they've always had an invis. What do you mean?
Did they? No, they had a rocket.
Yeah.
The
No,
rocket
they had a
beacon.
rocket.
No, they
They
did.
had rocket.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they did have rocket.
I'm like, they didn't have an invis.
As guardians,
I'm like, I swear they had a
Strange
beacon.
place.
or feast.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, Strange was always strange.
Storm, rocket,
Bro,
Luna.
our Iron Fist is dog shit, so he only
Yeah,
got
he
40 at the end
is.
with the ult.
30 seconds.
I
And
think-
they
I
keep
mean,
going
he's-
all the way to their fucking spawn, and I'm like, what the fuck are you
He's
doing?
distracting. Yo, he's only got 2 deaths. He's distracting pretty well.
Dog.
I'm not too deaf.
I'll let him
I'm
know.
sorry.
Technically, he's got a better ratio than our Spider-Man does.
Yo, Iron Fist, I'm trying to kill you, brother, but you push a little bit too forward. You know what I mean?
You said you want to heal me, and I'm gonna go. I appreciate that.
Well, I'm not talking. I'm talking to Iron Fist.
3,
Just try not to push forward. That's it. That's all. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to heal you, bro, but you push a little bit too forward.
Got it?
Spidey already on the defensive, bro. Like, damn. Like, shit, my bad.
Oh.
I thought you said I appreciate it though. Like,
No, he said, what are you gonna say? Heal me? I appreciate it.
You set up the goat.
Yeah.
My dude,
Bro.
we can't kill you through fucking shit.
No,
I mean, it's okay.
that's-
Spider-Man can get to the
Why
point
not?
fast
Let's
enough.
see
It's
what
not.
we-
They have I mean, that made a Scarlet now. What the fuck? Okay.
Yep, how I know when I was surfing.
Oh, they have an Emma.
Emma and a Wanda.
Trying to go around.
They are putting the beams on us now.
I went.
Oh, I'm gonna get my ass beat. Yeah, I got my ass beat.
So they're getting healed. They're
Sorry, I
getting healed.
tried.
I know. I shouldn't have bubbled.
I'm going back on
Bad
that.
move on my
Wait,
part.
Roxy, no. Roxy.
Yeah, I'm moving.
Look at me, girly. Where are you going, girly?
Hey, who's behind? Oh,
Look at me,
Deadpool.
girly. Look at me, girly. There we go.
Deadpool low. Deadpool
Nice.
dead.
There we go.
Oh, okay. Iron Fist dead.
Iron Fist died.
Alright, I just need 1 more second to get my bubble.
Okay, just let me know who we targeting and we target. That's the plan.
We target the Emma first.
Let's get a pick here and then we ult here.
Because Emma can cancel.
Oh,
both of
okay.
us.
If you want ult here.
I
don't have
ult.
much
Not yet.
shield
I don't
spell.
have ult.
These guys are just tag teaming each other, bro.
I will.
Okay, nice.
I'm coming!
Holy
I'm coming!
fuck! I needed that.
Oh, they double ulted. That's good.
They
that's
double
good.
ulted?
They both ulted. After one of the super ults ends, I'm ulting.
Okay.
I got canceled. My freaking flying thing got canceled. Okay, nice.
Their team's capture progress is past the
They're low. Range low.
Look at Invis.
Behind.
My bad,
Oh,
alright.
behind, guys. There's Invis behind. Invis behind.
There's also Luna around there as well.
Oh, they're gone. Invis is gone, I think. Through the portal. One Invis and one. Pretty sure she broke me.
All right.
They put. Oh, fuck.
Okay.
He died. Yep.
And
Makes
Iron
sense.
Fist expensive. Wow, bro, why is
I
it
can't
going
heal.
that way?
I can't heal. Guys, pull back.
Yeah. They're all coming. Change my ult. Okay.
Bro,
I tried. I'm dead.
I can grab.
I tried.
I
I bubbled
died.
us. I always
I
die.
know.
I got.
Like, I just.
How did I get pushed freaking in this, dude?
control lost.
Odinson, God
Guys, I'm gonna wait here.
What were you saying about Iron Fist earlier?
Guys,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
well
wait
now
here. You guys push and I'll
things
portal
got worse for
above
him.
and
Bro, I'm telling you, the only reason he got killed is because T ulted it.
His opponent got worse. I mean, his opponent got
Also,
better.
He's gonna portal to ult.
Okay.
If I'm not gonna portal, I'm gonna use this.
Hey, Mensa
that
sub
Invis
with Prime.
pushed me.
Yo, WA Mensa.
Focus on T here.
Between Emma and the Invis.
Oh my god, I'm
I'm
dead.
dying.
Where are you?
Right here.
Okay, we have like 3
Guys,
ults
I have
almost.
I almost have ult.
Roxy and
Oh no, I fell. fell.
Am I dead? Am I dead?
Just hold it down. Please hold it down.
Yep, low.
Please hold it down.
Strange low, strange low.
I'm almost there. I'm here. Okay.
They're running, they're running. Yep.
We did it?
More than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Triumph, friends.
Are they still going? They're still going. No. Yeah. 5 minutes.
Yeah?
Going, guys.
Alright. Gotta lock back in.
Save the ulti rocks.
Now they can portal at any
Lock
time.
portal,
Or they could
by
just
the
take
way.
this one.
Wary of this location, friends.
If
We-
you
like,
hear
all we have to do
Invis
is-
ult, try to
it's
hold it for
really
like
just-
5-10 seconds so we can win.
Yeah.
We have the
next
cloak and
set.
dagger all, and then
Yeah.
we have the Spider-Man all, and then we have the Thor all.
Where is Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay,
He's doing his own
And
thing. Oh, he's dead.
done.
Spider-Man just fell off the map? For real?
Yep. Yep.
Like for realsies?
I'm dead. Done.
Their Strange has to go 100%. Oh, I died. I'm gonna portal.
I died to a fucking.
They have no support, they have no
Luna.
support, they have no support, they have no support. Spider-Man, bro, come back and all, please.
No winner
Oh,
yet.
fuck.
Going to overtime.
Are you
Hold it,
portaling?
hold it.
Are you portaling?
I'm gonna portal.
Oh shit. Spider-Man, please, hold it down.
There we go. Killed her.
Let's go, Spider-Man. Let's go, Spider-Man.
They shouldn't have TP. They don't.
No, they shouldn't.
Oh, there.
Over here,
Portal.
invest.
She's dead.
Nice.
I am ready to
Okay, that's
Luna
bad.
ulted.
That's just, we gotta hold this for like 10 seconds. Just hold it for like 10 seconds. Their portal's back.
Oh, they portal.
Okay. That's good. Range dead. Thing dead.
Kill their invis.
Thing dead.
Luna dead.
Careful low.
Okay, holy
Nice.
fuck, dude.
Hold it.
There we go. Jesus Christ. Good job, guys.
Nice.
That's the first point. Oh no, it's the second one.
That was the second one.
That was the second one. Yeah, we're done. We're done.
Look at our Iron Fist locked in,
I
bro.
only died 2 times.
Wow.
Talking shit about
We
our
went
Iron
from
Fist, bro.
9-5 to 22 and 5.
Look, 13 final hits for each of them. Honestly, DPS gap for sure.
If you
No,
look
no,
at
no,
the
no.
if you look at the
Yeah.
replay, he got
Let's-
5 finals at the end, like with that.
Let's
ult,
get
with
one
T's
thing
ult.
straight. It was literally because of us that they managed to fucking
That's just,
get
you know,
it.
it's like that's their job though.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you can't give it all to them because it's.
I'm not giving it
literally
all to
teamwork.
them.
They're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm the go to whatever." It's like, bitch, you can't do shit by yourself.
All right, yeah. I am not talking about Spider-Man. Spider-Man's got his own issues, bro. But he did hold it down at the end, so I can't be mad at him.
Yeah. I mean, when I
Yeah.
told him that, like, hey, hold back a bit, he was.
He got like 3 kills before he even portaled.
Guys, just
Yeah.
let's not forget, one of his deaths was his own fault.
Yeah, he tried to pull someone off the map, and I think Wanda fucking faced out.
Fuck, he fell himself. He probably got frozen by Luna.
Either that or Wanda like did her.
Actually, no, it
Dash
was
or whatever.
it just showed that he fell. If he got frozen by Luna, it would have been.
Yeah, it would have showed it.
Right? Yeah. He
All right.
definitely pulled through at the end, right?
How much did you guys
A
get
lot
for
of
that one?
encouraging them. I don't even remember, to be honest.
I got 26 for that.
Oh, All for None's on the other team
Oh,
again.
well-dressed gem again.
All for None and Well Dressed Gem.
Wait, did we play
Which
against
hero do you
well-dressed
think you wanna
gem,
be
or were
today?
were they the Iron Fist?
No,
We played
they
against
definitely
All
were
for
not.
None.
We definitely played against All for None.
And well-dressed gem as well.
I mean, yeah, maybe. They might
Maybe.
be in the same group.
I
Not,
said that. I
not
said
not
that.
memorable.
Who am I gonna banish for this match?
No fear. Why do I feel like this person's familiar?
Because we're in this rank at this time of day. I don't know.
Oh, God, yeah. No,
Motherfucker
it's 'cause
struggling
they
just
have,
like us.
The tiny writing, and I'm just like, you read this. Oh,
You want to get
team.
rid of the Pain brothers? Or no?
He's Hulk. So unless thing, you're getting rid of thing.
I'm a good thing here. If he goes Hulk, I can go thing.
I'm banning Groot then. Or Penny. Groot or Penny is fine.
God, take the wheel.
What the fuck is happening? I'm not voting, guys. I'm not voting. I'm not voting. I'm not voting. I'm not voting.
Do you want to go for punish here for his shotgun close range?
Dude, what? Do whatever you want. I'm just not. I'm not. Doing
W brain cell.
Hey, we're just banning what's meta, right?
Okay, at least that
Bro,
one's
what
different.
do you mean? Bro, I hope bro say Gambit. I'm assuming he might have picked Gambit, but they also picked
I'm
Phoenix.
not judging.
I'm gonna go with the pain brother
I
here.
am the god of
So I'm
thunder
supporting.
and
Triple
Well,
tank.
man,
I'm
when
just
you
joking. I'm just joking.
I'm not
You
a
made the
hero.
Hulk switch,
I'm
dude.
the Punisher.
Yeah, I'm going to support.
I'm about to smash my head into my desk.
I tear through the cloudless night, just like the moon.
Oh,
No
you got
fears.
Moon Knight Lord, bro.
Ew.
Did you just say ew?
I mean, his name is
What?
not me. What do you expect?
This is not even. This is like my 6th Lord character, bro.
I tear through the cloudless night, just
It's
You want me to?
crazy
You want me to play
how-
Lord
how
Scroll
many
Girl
times-
instead? You want me to Lord Scroll Girl instead?
Get ready.
You want Lord
I don't
Scroll Girl
have,
instead? Is that better for you?
No, please go Moon Knight. Moon Knight's
It's my
better.
No,
only
Lord
account,
Iron Man.
guys. I don't have Scroll Lord Iron Man.
Mutants must protect mutants, but also all of humanity.
Did you hear that?
I'll do a real
The
character,
water.
a real skill check character.
Surprisingly on brand. The battle starts in
No, I was
5,
kidding. Go back. I was kidding.
3, 2, 1.
Don't you?
I need to do
Yo, when they give this woman a disco skin, yeah, you're never gonna see me not play this character ever again.
Okay, okay.
Oh.
And when that happens, let that be it. Not now.
Oh,
okay.
Storm. Yeah, the people were complaining because Storm does have one in the comics, but they didn't give it to her.
I know. She also would be perfect for a summer skin. You know. She controls the fucking weather. You know. You know.
I don't think that has to do with anything, but okay.
Are you kidding me? Would she not be perfect to have a fucking summer skin? The bitch that
Yeah,
controls the weather?
Yeah, singles for any event that considers the fact you have weather in it.
Her powers are really
Yeah, I mean
I
he's
know,
not
that's
he's
what I'm
not wrong.
saying.
He's not wrong. The Christmas skin would go crazy because there's like snow and shit. The fucking.
Yeah,
All you
like
gotta say the ult for is this. What's his name? Color.
but she also has a
Who are you talking to?
freaking I forgot the name of it. But she has a few skins that people want because they had just a
Fuck the shotgun, bro. I'm telling you, this shotgun.
Oh no! I'm gonna die here.
Bro, I'm healing you. I was healing you. How did you die?
I got stuck.
Shotgun, bro.
Finish your shotgun too close, you know?
Oh, they have 3D.
Wait, why didn't we ban
Oh my
Gambit again?
god.
They literally have a Ultra Lord Gambit and White Claw.
Oh, he said it.
Well, none of us picked Gambit, so you know that's why we didn't ban it.
Can you believe that?
None of us picked Gambit.
Well, Rox, you said I'm not banning no more. You're literally
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
and
no,
you,
one of
you
them
said
Gambit is
Punisher,
you.
and you still didn't ban Punisher. Dude, I didn't want to ban because I was sharing a brain cell with someone on their team. Okay? That's not a good thing.
Oh my god, he ulted. He ulted. Kill him.
I tried. Alright. I'm gonna alt and switch characters, guys. Don't worry.
I ulted him.
I'm being
Even though this is
Hello?
definitely not my
No,
fault
Magic,
looking at
why
the
you go so
scoreboard.
far?
Why is our alt magic's ass?
What do you want me to do?
Bro, you can't have
I
an-
love how the Star Lord and the Winter Soldier came back for me, and yeah, that's
Our
it.
magic is spooky.
Yeah.
We have the
I
magic
thought I was the
now.
problem.
Dude, we have three. They have 3 DPS. 3 annoying DPS.
Where's our team? Are we close?
Come on, Madden. Come on. Kill him.
Okay. Well, he ulted,
White Fox low.
so that doesn't help
Nice.
us. I won.
White Fox low again.
Star-Lord up
Oh,
there.
he was.
Fuck, bro.
Oh, guys! Go! I'm gonna ult. I'm ulting.
Charlo dead.
How do we have 3
Wait,
DPS
this
now?
bro's-
Oh, so 3 support, I mean. What the fuck?
I think I need to go shield here. No, I know what I'm
You
doing.
might.
We have
There's a
3.
Punisher
We have a
down, by the
Mantis
way.
now?
No, it's the Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier dead.
Okay.
We got point.
Yeah.
Bro, they went from 0 and 3
Dude,
to
I'm
3 and 3 and
mainly-
what
I'm
one
mainly
switch,
like-
bro.
Hit, by the way. I forgot they had a main.
What is this?
Yeah, they have me. That's the only thing they have.
Bro, I love
we
that you
have
can use the
no
other
counter
Punishers
damage.
at punch. That's just so funny.
Bro, we got a Punisher against a Magneto. Mad Moon. Please.
Yeah, bro. Don't worry about it.
Please be careful. A freaking Star-Lord.
Charlotte up here. He's low. He's running. You got the health pack?
I love how this
He's
man
back.
ulta and he can't do anything.
Whoops. Wrong button. My character.
Oh my god, I don't have ult. I don't have ult.
Oh, Mantis has it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
man, this.
Almost killed him, bro.
Oh my god. Holy fuck, bro.
Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Kill
Oh
him.
my god, bro.
Kill
Bro.
him.
Bro, he genuinely
Do your
cooked me.
job. I'm dead.
He genuinely cooked me, bro.
Are we gonna portal? Mantis is going on now.
The only one that can switch is Mad Moon or
Yeah, I
the
got you, I
whole
got you, I
entire-
got you, I got you, I got you.
I'm
Oh,
so
never mind. He already
salty.
switched. He already switched.
Nah, we're not gonna make it.
Don't waste the
We're not gonna
TP.
make
We're
it.
not.
We're not.
Yeah.
He already did it. He already did it.
Oh.
Alright. So, I don't know if triple support into 3 DPS is the way to go right now.
Yo, Mantis, can you go, what's his name, Namar here? For this, Star-Lord?
Hero. I'm the Punisher.
Alright.
Dude, I'm not doing enough in my opinion.
Can they
I
go
tear
oh,
through the
come
cloud
on.
Appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it.
just like the moon.
do you want to go DPST?
Living avenue.
30 seconds before you attack.
I
don't
control
know.
tank this. I control it. They're one tank. They're one
Just
tank.
like the
Okay,
moon.
hold on.
So if you-
Okay, there we go.
Okay,
We'll do that.
30 DPS.
We'll do that.
I mean, if you want to go Rocket, you can switch with me.
Hero.
I think this is better. For this,
You said it to the team.
for the support alt. Because Rocket Alt is going to get melted by Star-Lord if they stay Star-Lord.
Battle starts in 5.
Yep.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Issue is that the backline's not getting touched.
All you need to do is capture the mission area.
I could probably go magic.
Yeah, but this backline with Luna can hold it down for a bit.
The back line gonna get hold of over motherfucker. Ah.
You mean our Luna?
Yeah, I mean T.
Yeah, yeah, bro. I'm
Go
out here
point,
fighting
go
a
point, go point,
Warrior
go
and
point.
Punisher at the same
Don't
time.
stop here.
Let's
5
go
points, 5
YouTube.
points. Go down, go down, 5
I
points.
have ult, by the way.
Go down, 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 go down.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture.
Where is he? I'm
Right side, right side, right side.
Give me-
Oh, fucking white box
Still
ulted.
got him.
Oh,
It's fine. I still got him.
Okay.
Get by me, get by me, get by me, get by me, get by me.
I don't know where you are.
Oh, you died.
Whenever you all try to find me, so I can bubble you or I can shield it.
I'm gonna go.
He's gonna always save you.
I'm gonna die
I'm
here.
so low. I'm so low. I'm dead.
Huh?
The Star-Lord went straight for me. So, my bad.
Yeah.
By the way, you're
Okay, I'm just gonna start immediately ulting then.
okay.
Cause like I
Star-Lord.
build ult.
But before you all try to find me, so you can like stand behind me or I can bubble you.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna always Star-Lord ults, but I'm assuming he's gonna do me a good point.
I'm going around, don't worry about it. Okay, burnt the Gambit ult.
Look.
It's me and Namara back here, by the
Mag's
way.
low, nice. Damn, I died.
I'm dead, by
I'm
the way.
dead, I'm dead.
Yep.
Fuck.
Our DPS are not doing enough. I'm getting killed by Star-Lord.
Me and then Namara got pushed back. That's
Lightning of
separated.
Asgard returns.
Hmm.
He's not very good, I don't believe.
No, he's not.
I'm at 50%.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 4-4. I don't think he can play no more, guys.
I don't think he can play support either.
Yo, Namar, are you comfortable on tanking here, bro?
Or something, doing like anything.
That's 4, 4, and 4, bro.
He has all. So
What stat line is that?
Oh,
Oh, Punisher
I'm a
turret,
ult.
Punisher turret. Oh shit. W bubble.
I ulted. I said push point, I ulted.
I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Go, 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 go. Punisher's dead.
The tank low.
Holy fuck, bro. That's not good.
Winter
Big.
Soldier, Winter Soldier.
T,
I'm
I'm
dead.
behind
One
you.
and a half.
I'm behind you.
Dead.
Star-Lord's low.
Sorry, I was pulling him.
Look at the look at the healers. Look at the healers.
I'm on mag. I'm on mag.
Look at, no, I'm on mag. Look
Okay,
at
okay. I'm going for Gambit then.
White Fox low. White Fox dead.
Punisher's back.
There we go.
Punisher's low again.
I'm with you now.
Punisher and Gambit are running back to the rest of the team.
You're good.
Hold this.
You captured more than half of the missionaries.
We have like 3 ults.
58, 60% of my ult.
Someone's up there. Bucky's
Who win Black Panther?
Bucky's dead.
Who win? Oh my god.
I'm 1v1ing White Fox right now. I'm running away. It's lucky she's cooking my ass.
Yeah, they got ult.
I'm dead.
There, Magneto has ult.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
We have a black. Our Spider-Man went BP.
Yep.
Okay.
Asgard returns.
Is that the move?
I have ult, guys, but obviously they're main.
I think we're gonna have to ult here at that point.
I don't have it.
I'm going in. I'm ulting in it.
I'm gonna ult it.
Can I ult
I'm
this?
gonna.
No.
Please.
I made it.
Coming back. I'm
Survive
coming
it,
back.
Did you die? Oh shit.
My dude.
Oh shit. Oh, they both died.
Yep. We both died.
Oh no, it's so cooked.
Magneto was in front, like Stabber was in front of us, but I think his shield went down before after the dude
Yeah,
shot
he
it.
timed that. He timed that one.
Good try.
Yeah.
So close, guys. So close.
Yeah, bro. Close.
Close. Yeah.
7-9,
7-9.
bro.
7-9.
Oh,
my
yeah,
dude,
yeah,
7-9.
yeah.
7-9 and 9-7. Let's go. Let's go.
7-9.
Let's go, boys.
Bro, I have enough finals almost for these two combined. And more damage from him. like,
I lost 24, guys. Oh damn.
You lost 24. I also lost 24.
Oh, posture check, guys. No shrimping, no shrimping, no shrimping.
Alright. So I'm currently
Good shit on that T.
down 5.
Good shit on that, bro. I mean, it was basically just us. We were tanking and DPSing.
Dude, how do you get 6,000 damage on Spider-Man, BP, Strange, and how do you only get 6,000?
It probably wasn't his game, bro.
Great question. Alright.
I'm going DPS here. T. I mean, not T.
Yo, they have Fear Magneto.
They have Fear Magneto? What? They got Fear Gagnito.
I don't know about Magneto, bro. I read in Magneto my bad.
I'll probably go Strange here, bro. You have a Sue.
Who am I gonna banish from this match?
Okay, I would say Penny, but what do you guys think?
Penny on.
I'd say ban anybody. It doesn't matter, bro. As long as you get Gambit in there at one point, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Gambit and Cyclops at one point. Oh, nice.
Yo guys, next ban is Gambit. Just so these motherfuckers don't pick anything else. You know what I mean?
If they're in chat, if they aren't.
Yeah, bro.
Actually, everyone but the cute. No, cute doesn't. Oh no, we're all in there. And then Cyclops, right? Cyclops, we banned the new.
I mean, if they're banning Punish, I think it's gonna be Dino, or it's gonna be. Pretty sure it's gonna be Dino. They can play.
But
ban
do
something.
you? I
Ban
mean, I feel
something.
like we should really.
We're gonna ban Spider-Man? We're gonna ban Cyclops? We're about to find
I feel
out.
like Cyclops
I'm
should
not
be
mad with
banned.
either or.
honestly.
Because I just banned Cyclops because they shred
Oh,
the
nice,
shield,
nice,
right?
nice.
And I'm like, not about to do that.
Okay, so who's going DPS and who's going tank? Let's see.
Yo, Matt. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going tank.
Yeah.
Run.
Okay, do
Defense
you want to
right
go what? Magneto? Do you want to go?
I'm probably gonna go Thor here or Emma, depending what they have. I could start with Mag though. If I go Mag, who am I bubbling? Like just the rocks? That's it.
Yeah, I guess, or the Invis.
I mean, yeah,
It
just
depends.
bubble
If you
defensively,
see-
bro. That's it.
Like it really depends if you're like if you see one of the supports getting cooked more often than bubble them as you're
You
getting
don't
pushed.
really
so I
need
can get,
bubble
like-
if they don't have a main
They'll be
leader.
coming in 30 seconds.
It's not
Stay
that. It's that they
strong.
get mass focused, and then I can just save my
Yeah,
bubble for you as well.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
at that point, if they don't have a Magneto, then it's just bubble whoever needs to.
No. Always save it for the supports. Always save it for the supports. Never bubble DPS unless they're ulting. Never.
Okay.
Like a Wanda or Star.
Yeah, that's right. Don't bubble.
That's
Don't
just
bubble
first
Mad
thing.
Moon. He's a flyer too. Figure
Don't worry
figure
about
your
him.
own
Yeah,
shit out,
like
Mad Moon.
don't.
Figure out
Oh.
your own heals
Like-
and all that shit.
The
Yeah,
thing is that
yeah.
if you start like bubbling DPS, it doesn't matter. They'll die instantly because that's their
Okay,
job.
they have a
taking
Luna,
damage.
Invis, Strange, Punisher. No, I'm not Punisher.
Yeah,
Fucking
Magic, so
Magic.
Magic going around, by the way. Magic going around.
Go around.
Yep.
Yeah. They have a BP.
Oh, Yep. DP low. Yep. He's not low. Yes, he is. Wait, yes, he is.
Magic
DP's
on my
dead.
ass.
Nice. DP dead.
Think Magic when you see her. Think Magic when you see her.
No, I was just saying. On my ass at that
He's probably taking the house back there.
I hear someone. I hear
Magic's still alive?
swinging.
Yeah,
Is she still in the back?
I think so.
somewhere.
No. I don't. No. Wait. Yes. She still is. She still is.
Also, they have an Angela, by the way. Angela.
DP is
Still
one.
is. She's still in the back.
Angela.
Yes, I said Angela.
DP's trying to go around. He's one.
He's over here.
Guys, how about Magic still in the
Angela's
back?
coming
though?
around.
Yeah,
Magic.
I'm
Watch out,
working
Mad Moon.
on
Mad
it.
Moon. She's going for you. She's going for you, Mad Moon.
Who's on point? Who's on point? Magic behind.
Oh,
Magic.
not good.
One yellow.
Strange is after me.
That's one
I got
tap.
Oh, I'm the only healer. I'm the only healer, guys.
I'm trying to fight like the DPS
Magic's
plus
on me.
the
Strange is also helping me. Okay, I'm dead. I'm dead.
Magic's dead.
Yeah, I tried.
Mad Moon, we're gonna have to switch off.
You're gonna whenever we're getting dive like that, bro, just look at your other killer.
Our other
No,
healer
no,
was
I'm
dead.
saying for the Angela, because Angela's gonna go after him.
Angela's not the
We're
problem
not
for
gonna be
me.
focusing on him.
Angela's not the problem. The fact that our healer died was the problem.
Yeah. So
I'm
just
trying to
look at her.
focus but then the strange is focusing me, so I have to fucking phase out.
we need someone to focus on on their dives. Because their magic is constantly going around.
This
and looking
Scorbo
at
is
this
not going
I can go thing. I can go thing after that.
Angela from behind.
Someone help that moon, by the way, please. I'll
Good, I'm
spam
good,
it.
I'm good. Don't worry. Whenever you
Okay,
bubble,
I
I'm
need help.
flying to it, so. Oh,
Magic.
okay, magic.
back.
Alright, okay, hold on.
Bro.
What are we going on?
God, I should have ulted. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm trying to focus.
Regroup.
The second healer, I don't know where she goes though.
Alright, I'll do what I can.
It's not helping the fact they have a lead.
Regroup. Don't stagger it. We're
We
fine.
really
I'd
just
rather.
need
I'd
to
ra-
go anti-dive at this point. 'cause
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
We banned Penny, so
No.
so us.
No, they did. They did.
I don't care who.
Oh,
they
that's
ban.
not good.
Where is she? Where is she?
Guys, I'm the only one here.
Yeah.
I will not be stopped so
They hit
easily.
a checkpoint.
Is everybody dead?
I have-
Oh my god, magic, bro.
I feel like
And
it's not worth.
I
me
love
keeping
how
my
our
ult.
score girl is staying score girl.
Yo, man, go thing, man.
It's
I'm gonna go dive here. I'm gonna go healers
I'm
for
actually
healers.
the strongest
So if
Here,
they're diving
I'm
our
just
healers, I'm
gonna-
gonna touch
if-
the heals.
When the BP is touching us, I'm just gonna go and ult.
Okay, we're fine.
Alright.
No, because our Invis is gonna have ult.
Where the fuck is magic, bro?
Magic's
Oh,
on already.
come on.
He's dead.
Alright.
Okay.
This is too much.
Disappear.
Is she?
It's okay.
Yeah, Invis ulted.
I'm in their ass right now. I'm frozen.
One.
Black Panther.
I'm gonna
behind
die.
Roxy.
Oh, hold on. Please help me. Please help me. Damn.
Bro, he's really low. Too fast. Too fast. Too fast.
Yeah, just a little, huh?
Wait, the Invis ult behind? Yes.
Wait, are Invis ulted?
Yes, she's fighting two tanks in the back line.
Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck is...
I am ready to put on a show.
Bro,
I'm fighting a train.
our strangers
Solo
team. They're old. Bro.
Bro.
Getting walked here, guys.
Yep.
Bro, there's nothing I can do.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
The current score
Alright.
is
Got
0.
How much time do they have? 3
crazy
minutes?
They got crazy momentum there, bro.
Time to switch things up, including
Yeah, I mean, they got 3 like
side
diving characters and they got fucking
You'll
some
need a
annoying ass
top-notch team to
survivability.
win this one.
Who needs 4 when you've got I am the god of thunder and the mightiest avenger.
I genuinely can't like.
It doesn't help that our other DPS was Squirrel Girl and they weren't hitting enough stuns on that.
No, this week I'm not. I'm working all the way to Sunday.
Round 2. Go.
Also, we have a Namor which both are DPS. Like
Mine's over there. Can you give it to me?
at least Ebro like try going back, but Ebro gets caught by the Angel, he gonna get fucked.
It's fine. I can defend Angie, but the problem is, it's just I can't look back and forward at the same time.
Yeah, I know how you feel. I know how you feel.
Namor. Tis a joy to have a fellow.
Like, it's either
Like,
I'm in the
the
back
moment
line or I'm in the front line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the moment they tell me there's a Black Panther behind, I go back and then I get killed in the front.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not good. Especially if they have magic and a fucking Black Panther.
Yeah,
Just
but now
alternate.
I'm gonna be jumping the.
And then
I'm
the
gonna be
Angela
able.
comes in. If
hopefully
it's
I'm
not
gonna
the
be
Black
able to get
Panther or Magic, it's the Angela.
1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it? They say that music brings the world together.
Okay.
But right now,
Okay, guys, let's do
Daniela
this.
going around.
coming in
Oh,
fast.
yeah.
Yeah, she's fighting.
They have a fantastic, strange, and
Huge
yeah.
turn away from me.
You good?
Their Magic is nearby because she got both me and Luna into it.
Yep, I hear.
And Magic. Oh, fantastic.
Passive behind as well.
Wait,
Gotcha.
why did she come back? I thought she was gonna go forward.
Go forward, go forward. Oh, please,
I'm dead. I'm stuck here
please.
fighting a Strange and Angela.
I'm
Dude,
about.
the fucking Luna came after me. I'm like, dude, I can phase out of this. Like, why are you coming towards me?
I can't. It's too much damage. It's too much damage.
It's too much, bro. Okay.
I'm going fantastic. See what I can do here.
Dude, if someone goes Moon Knight, that would be more damage. Or Namor should really go Moon Knight.
Angela's coming around.
Namor's not working at least. At least he's not making it.
Angela's
I mean, he's not moving up enough for his offense to make any sense right now. Okay.
Magic's coming from the side. Or someone's coming from the side. Magic's coming from the side.
Magic.
Oh my
Magic
god.
low. Magic's going back.
He's running. Angela behind or above, I guess. Oh, that's
God.
Okay.
Angela's still behind, by the way.
I'm trying everything, bro.
7.
I am ready to
I
yeah.
hate that he slowed you down.
Is that them?
Yes.
Did you ult?
Mad Moon. I literally said I'm ulting, and then said Mad Moon.
You didn't even make it.
I did. What?
How did you die?
Because they came at me. What a point.
The Strange hasn't died once. That's
Bro, no. Every time I'm about to kill him, he gets healed.
The lightning of Asgard
those are two
returns.
And
coordinated.
I
for
grabbed
us.
and canceled his soul. The Namor ulted, but I freaking kicked him out of the ult. Because for some reason, I don't know where that, no communication. Freaking, you're gonna over and I grab it. Now you know I'm gonna kick him. I'm gonna give him far away.
Oh, someone's here. Magic's here. Magic here.
Where is here, dude?
I ping.
I'm looking.
Yeah, Magic's over here hiding.
Only 60 seconds left.
Was like
They're
three
going
of them here.
Our Luna has ult.
Yeah.
I couldn't grab
Four of them
that,
here.
cart.
Is that us?
Why is our magic? No, move forward, Namor. Move forward to the.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
Our Namor's dumb. He refused to move towards the Luna.
It's over, dude.
And Luna was trying to like save him, and I was also trying to save him.
Yeah, I was wondering why Luna's ult wasn't on the point.
No, because
I'm gonna
I don't know why we were looking at him. He went back to Corvo. Yeah, okay. Yep, that's gonna help us. Angela's here.
I got canceled.
Yeah.
Final 10 seconds.
Oh. GG's, man. GG's.
No winner yet. Going to overtime.
I just love the path how I'm gonna portal and everybody left. And I was alone with this girl. Who can't
That's a
stop
tough
it.
game, bro. Damn.
Yep.
Yeah, she got. I mean, she kebabbed you guys, bro. I couldn't really
She
have done
did.
anything.
You did.
Yeah, but Matt Moon can cancel her with his freaking thing, his launch thing, the hammer thing. He can cancel it.
Can I?
There's no point. Just
Yeah.
stop. Just stop. No point. Move on.
Okay, so anything that's involving like pushing or like
Yeah, but it's not like instant. There's still like there's like a momentum behind it, you know? Like
Yeah.
people still move in that direction.
I'm pretty sure you cancel it. You both cancel each other out. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
because even when I bubble, it like people can still like move like horizontally.
No bubble.
I know, even with the hammer throw, it's the same effect, bro. It's the same effect. Like they still move in that direction slightly. And if she's kebabbing, then I can't do anything. Kebab.
Why am I even playing ranked, dude?
I love how we win the first game, then lose two. Oh damn.
Happens. That team's push was like actually ridiculous though.
Which hero do you think you want to be today?
Cyclops.
Now, who am I gonna banish from this match?
I hope they ban Cyclops. All right, what's our plan here?
I'm going DPS here. Pull down from start.
Okay. Now, I'm about to lock in. We're about to lock in, don't worry.
Do we ban Cyclops? We have two Cyclops there.
No.
They're gonna,
We can ban Starlord if you guys want.
there's an open map, so I would, yeah, honestly.
But we left the Helen more.
I don't think they're gonna go hella anymore.
All right.
If they do, I'll
You'll
probably
need a
take
top-notch
pokes.
team to win this one.
It's time to lock in, guys.
Well, number 8 got it.
Free DPS.
No, Sebro, just stay on DPS. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't, you can switch.
Roach? No, it's not.
We're on offense.
Yep, we're on offense.
I like this map.
See, sure. But sometimes we take
I'm gonna be brawling with
stuff
you,
other
T.
people are guarding.
30 seconds before you attack.
Oh.
Get ready.
I'll make it worth your while, Bucky. Go on, name your price. Only raccoons can have. Yikes. I mean, technically I ain't a raccoon, but something tells me I should push my luck.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here they come. You're ready for action. That's as long as you stay focused.
Damn, who the fuck is getting cooked already, bro?
My good deed for the day.
Okay, I'll come back. I'll come back.
And Bucky, bro. Holy.
You're welcome.
That's a lot of damage.
I gotta push back here.
Team player. That's me.
Look at strength. There we go.
Patch you up.
Did we just lose? Oh, okay. Bucky went way too far ahead. But Beacon way out of range for him.
Yeah, I don't know where he was.
Lilac above us?
You're halfway there. Keep going.
Where is this person?
You're
Where is
welcome.
He's one. I lost her.
You're still up there.
There we go. I like that. When I put my anti on Strange, look at him, right?
I'll patch you up.
Look at Strange.
Don't turn back now.
Relay deployed. It ain't cheap.
And y'all low.
She's dead.
Oh, you're back. Chill, bro.
I'm not even
I got focus there.
I'm not feeling better. You wanna yell?
That, I mean,
What's for your ult here, Rock? What's for your ult here?
Firepower.
nice ult, Madden.
Oh, let's go.
Good shit, the first one.
Complaining, bro. He got revived as he was yelling.
I don't know who he was even talking to.
I was talking about me, I think.
Oh, okay.
So I was like close to him, but he was on the other side of my
Yo,
screen.
DPS, pull up. Yo, DPS, pull back, DPS. Don't get staggered here.
Nah, bro, no healing, bro. Deadass, no healing.
No healing?
You're like
Yeah.
50 feet away, brother.
Nah, no healing. Yo, did you
Nah,
know
that guy
Rocky
has to be
can shoot
trolling.
his things around the wall?
You know, there's like travel time.
Look at Strange by himself.
I am ready to put on
Ah, he's
a
running,
show.
he's running. Going above,
Who the
going
fuck
above.
ulted above
Jump down,
us,
I can kill
bro?
through it.
Jump down.
I'm
getting my
helping you,
ass
but
beat.
Oh,
you
you're
don't
good,
have
you're good.
healing.
Holy fuck, dude.
You're ready for action. See, I'm fucking helpful.
Don't.
She's on him.
I'll
Careful,
find us somewhere.
where Psylocke.
Yeah, I don't want to get ulted, bro. I'm getting ulted, bro.
I moved up though.
Yeah, I moved back and she followed me, not you.
Strange dead. Strange side is dead.
No,
Yeah,
I have
honestly, good because
I
my
just lost it. I just lost it.
Rocky, you better kill me. Oh, you
I just died, bro. Relax.
fucking
Since we really have a road.
you.
What? Is he fucking still yelling at you?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Deploy another beacon.
They broke my beacon.
I was gonna ulti, but are we all here?
Yeah.
Nah, about
I
to
mean,
be,
you can
yeah.
ult if you want. Oh my god, you got instant.
Ah, bro, yeah, bro.
Bro, I tried to kill supports. I don't know where the Imbus went.
She's up here. She's up here. She's at the front.
Bro, why are you guys so far in the back?
Oh my god, I thought you guys were moving forward.
I have no idea,
I
bro.
was with you, but our DPs were so far.
Push back here, Matt. Push back here.
Like, I was
Why
with
is it
you.
so far? I
Yo,
literally
Matt, do you just hate me?
I don't know. I was with you, and the Cyclops and the
You
Winter
actually hate me
Soldier stayed
because
behind.
I called you Jewish, but you can be
Nah,
honest.
we're fine. Group up. We're fine.
Why are you so toxic?
Maybe too many games lost.
Holy fuck, bro.
That's not an us problem. Get fucking better. I can't.
No, I was trying to bubble the thing.
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Bro, I was literally aiming directly at him,
No,
bro.
okay, just keep talking. Stop talking about him. I'm literally losing focus.
Well, where's the Winter Soldier over there
He's
in the
up.
corner?
He's up here. He's up here
Nah,
somewhere.
we're fine. Well, move up forward.
Nah, they went over here. They went over there.
This where the shield play?
Almost there. Don't turn back now.
Row.
There's this side left.
Rep low.
So, she's so low. She's so low. Come on.
Dead. Come on. Kill him. Oh, forget it.
Killer, please.
Strange low, kind of.
He's not low at all, bro.
Heal her down. Heal her down.
I'm frozen.
Get Luna.
Luna's dead.
Alright, good job, guys.
Vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Fuck up, man. Guy isn't even fucking yelling.
Yo, heal me!
Push back, brother. Our card's all the way back here, bro.
Where? Oh,
I don't know why you're pushing that. You're not 1v6 in that, bro. Even with all the kills you got.
Bro, I'm dead ass watching my supports not heal me.
That's crazy, bro.
okay.
Absolutely insane, bro.
I almost have
No,
all.
I'm crazy. Oh man, you needed to say it.
I locked him. Yeah, I locked him. But it's 2 down.
Don't let anything stand in your way.
There are a lot of them up there.
Low. I thought there was, but there's no one.
They ran away or they died.
Bro, no.
Like back half.
No, they don't have a Psylocke anymore. No, they still
They do. This guy's full. Bro, you're full of health, man.
I don't have bubble.
Full health asking for heals, bro. Actually hilarious.
Guys,
He's
make it
literally
bad,
full
make it
health.
bad, make
He
it
had
bad.
a little bit health off, and my day.
No, he was full health. He had overshield too. Even he had that fucking blue health on, bro. And he was in a mag bubble, bro. Like, I'm like, there's no way.
God damn! My fucking cloak is dead! For what? The fucking air!
He is dead. He is.
Holy fuck, dude.
Only 60 seconds.
Guys, I
I'm
can portal, but
Trying
Bro,
to
yeah,
heal
I'm
this
gonna
Winter
portal.
Soldier.
Bro does not have an indoor voice.
I'm portaling.
Okay.
Step bro.
Oh no!
Okay.
No, I'm almost holding.
Manu!
I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were coming back.
Go ahead.
I have ult, guys. I'm just-
Bro, I'm dead instantly because of the Cyclops. They have a
Holy
venom, by the way.
fuck, I'm gonna die here.
I'm ulting. Shouldn't die.
Okay, keep going.
Finish dead.
Bro, I made it through my portal again.
Dialogue.
Never's dead.
There's
Never's
venom.
dead.
There's venom.
Nice. We make it.
This is real.
Holy fuck, bro.
The current
That should not have been that hard.
Son,
3, 2,
Freaking Elgato, it's not even funny.
Time to
It's
switch
not even
things
funny.
up,
This man is
including
yelling at
which
us for
side
heals
you're
when
on.
he's full health. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing
Heroes
wrong,
can make
guys?
all the difference.
What am I doing wrong?
Holy.
Fuck. And he's just screaming. It's not even asking. He doesn't go to ask. He doesn't go to like, hey, can I get some heal or some shit like that. He's just screaming in our ears.
I mean, you know that's how it works.
Just
You know,
heal.
some people,
Yeah. Just
other
heal.
people, you know.
Goddamn. God fucking damn.
You can always report him for being mean.
Fucking abusive comms, bro.
It really is. It
Oh,
really
yeah.
is. Every time he yells, I'm just like, what the fuck?
Well, okay.
He's not even fucking ace.
He's never been the ace.
You can't even get ace on the new character. What the fuck?
I mean, yeah, I always thought Pro Gamer was gonna be the ace. Like, look, his name is Pro Gamer, bro. If he's not a pro gamer, he gotta uninstall the game.
Be the new character to get ace.
Yeah.
He's just good like that.
So imagine him on the
Worst
new character.
teammates to have for-
Imagine what he could accomplish on the new character if he's
Wait,
doing
wait,
this
wait,
on
where is
Bucky.
he? Where is he? Wait, guys, where is he?
Where is he? He's in front of us.
Oh, I'm
What?
just making sure, you know, when he's yelling, hear me!
What the hell, a Deadpool now?
Okay.
Thank Deadpool. Careful, side luck going here.
Madeline, you're gonna have to heal him, so I'm healing right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna try, but he's also like not really on the same level sometimes. Oh.
No.
Except, bro, I put that thing, I put the bubble down. I'm sorry, I put the bubble because I was reloading.
I hate that side luck.
Live, 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 live.
There's too much, it's too much, it's too much.
One's in the back.
Psylocke, Psylocke.
Psylocke,
Yeah,
Psylocke.
Broke the nest.
Bro.
Oh, I can't get
I can't save
through,
you from that
sorry.
one.
The Deadpool put his thing there, I'm so sorry.
I'm switching, I'm going thing. Or Emma. Going Emma.
Okay. Oh shit, oh
Yeah,
shit, oh shit. I'm dead.
Watch him yell at us. We're both dead, by the way.
He's still alive, he's still alive, he's still alive.
Somebody
Oh.
Can you feel like this?
But they didn't even try. The fuck? What is my DPS doing, bro?
Asking for heals.
Wait, why are these still fighting over here though?
Who's fighting?
Our DPS. Who?
But they're like deep in the.
Over here.
This guy fell off the. This guy jumped off the
get
map.
Out, get out. I'm on the side. I'm on the side. I'm on the side.
What's happening, bro?
Wait,
He got pushed by the Imbus.
I'm walking away. T, we're walking away. T, move further back.
This is a nice spot.
Who's up there?
I was backing out. That's what I could do here.
T, there's both
Holy
behind you. Both
fuck,
behind
bro.
you. There. Oh, no.
Silent behind us. Silent behind us.
Get them, get them. They're so low, guys. They're so low.
Get them.
No, CP ran away. I'm not going. I'm not.
Holy fuck, dude. Oh.
Nah, you guys are dead ass ruling retards, bro. Like, literally, I cannot think of.
Hey, yo, bitch, shut the fuck up, bro. You're fucking baby trying to get fucking healed 24/7, bro. Hey, watch your fucking mouth.
What you guys can be doing, bro? Instead of healing me, like dead ass. Like, in what universe are you
No,
not
say they're
living?
healing.
Like, brother, I bet you came out of your
Brother, you're not the only person on the team.
Nah, we're busy healing Pro Gamer. You know, the ace of our fucking.
Oh my god,
No.
bro.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
I'm not the only person on the team, but I'm the only person on the team that's doing anything. So
That's not even close to true.
definitely not my two tanks with fucking 14 kills.
Yeah, bro, you're great, bro. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing. Do your thing, King.
Why is he here?
Jesus Christ.
He's low, he's low.
Oh hell
Oh,
no.
freaking, I got ulted on.
I got ulted. Yeah, same.
No, you still died. Oh fuck. That's not good. That's not good. I'm dead. Just you and the DPS. Okay.
That's
Good job.
okay. Me and Pro Gamer, we got this. Not this.
Dude, I have to 8,000
Oh, they're going
damage.
forward. They're going forward with one. Dude, what am I supposed to do?
Yo, you just gotta pocket Pro Gamer and that's all you gotta do. He's tilted? And dude, he's crazy.
Yo, tank. Yo, retard. Let's sit on the point and take 0 space. Thanks, retard.
Oh my god. Oh my
You're still talking, buddy?
Talking to D now. Bruh.
I almost have ult, guys. I'm just trying to kill the boat. This is really annoying. Where is he? Dude!
Not good. Okay.
I also have
This fucking Mara ulted.
Did you get her? Okay, never mind. Doesn't even matter. Deadpool ult, not good for me.
Bro, we're itchy. I hate the how he jumps.
Thank you, Emma. Beat his ass.
Like, listen, it's not my fault that you guys are special needs, but you don't.
Hey, lock in, bro. Hey, do your job. Lock in, bro. Lock in.
Yo, Step, bro, you got
We're
2
the
kills in
ones
the last
for
3
the-
fights. How does that make you feel?
Feels amazing, bro. Lock in.
Oh, it does? Yeah, I bet it does, bro.
I'm gonna die.
Oh shit, you're back, right?
I hate Cyclops.
That's why we usually ban him. I don't have ult, by the way. We're waiting
That's
for...
fine, that's fine. It's just pushing back. It's just pushing back.
I know, I'm just saying, we're waiting.
Oh, okay, that was a little preemptive, but
That was so good, though, T. No. Oh, I was fucking cancel.
okay, well, I kind of just wasted that.
Don't worry, I'm not.
That's literally that's the reason why I'm saying on point.
What the fuck?
Yo, let's take 0 space. Let's take 0 space.
Oh my
Retards,
God.
let's take 0 space. Yo, Step.
Yeah, let me hold them on point, bro. Let me hold
Zero
them on
space,
point, bro.
retard.
Alright? Let me hold them on point.
Let's take 0 space, Step, bro. You retard. Good job.
The portal?
The portal in.
Almost died.
Cyclops low, nice. Cyclops dead.
I'm dead. I almost had
Me
ult.
slow. Kind of. No, Strange not low again.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Sorry.
Okay, never mind.
I'm gonna die here. Yep. They have a Phoenix now. Is somebody portal? Oh, you have ult. Yeah. Okay, I'm portaling.
I'm ulting on point.
Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive. Range is low.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. It's only you,
Oh,
man.
I'm dead.
Wait, where's the rest of our team? What the fuck?
They didn't come fast enough. Oh, they're here. Cavalry alive. Let's go. He sounds like an
GG,
Edgar.
retard. Yo, how does our teammate have 61 kills and you have 19 on DPS and tank the whole game? Let
Good
that
job,
sink
bro.
in.
Good job.
Let that sink in.
Good job. You want a cookie?
Sounds like an Edgar. What's an Edgar? Am I crazy?
I don't know, bro. Bro did a whole lot of yapping. 41 final hits, bro. W Pro Gamer. Holy. Like I carried the fuck out of us, bro.
You really?
Jesus Christ. He got more final hits than our other DPS and tanks combined.
You locked in, bro.
Malicious
Some light.
efficiency from
Yeah.
it? What?
Some light.
What is that?
Pro Gamer Diff. What are you reading?
Oh, no, I'm just reporting the guy.
Oh.
Of course I'm reporting him. What the fuck? I'm letting that motherfucker talk to me like that. Nah.
Edgar is those guys with the newer version of the bowl cut.
New version.
What's the newer version of the bowl cut? Like the broccoli cut?
The broccoli.
Yeah. That should go fire though.
Oh, word.
It looks good on some people.
Lord Guangdong on the other team? Oh, fuck, bro.
Oh no. Water Cup, Blazing Fury, One Lucky Sun,
Which hero do
Ophelia.
you think you want to be today?
Ophelia.
Oh my god, you have Black Panther already.
I don't know
We have a Black Panther? That's what I like to see.
Yep.
Now, who am I
Some
gonna
light.
manage for this match?
Are gonna ban this.
I guess
We're
we'll
getting
ban
rid of
Penny.
nah. We're getting rid of this bitch. Straight up.
Okay.
Like that. I'm not dealing with the motherfucking crybaby.
Our team disagrees
The
with you.
fuck? Well, it doesn't matter. We're gonna delete that Cyclops anyways.
We're gonna delete
I'm
him.
deleting Cyclops. Delete him.
Wait. Can we like pick Cyclops last? Cause
Yeah. What about Gumbit?
just in case.
Okay, just let one of these two go. for
Phoenix or Punisher?
I would say Gambit, but
Um,
Oof, maybe
we'll see if it
Squirrel.
pays off.
yeah.
Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl?
Yeah.
Target ban. Why'd you target ban my Squirrel Girl, bro?
We're gonna go group. Yeah.
The Black
Group,
Panther and the
group,
Strange
group,
are
group, group,
100% on the same one.
Ban Groot?
Yeah. They're banning Squirrel.
Yeah, get this Groot out of here, bro.
T Groot.
Okay.
It's not okay. Watch.
I mean, it's not okay because we might still have Cyclops. Okay, okay.
Yep.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
You'll need a
I'm happy.
top-notch
I'm
team
happy.
to win this one.
All right.
Yeah, that Black Panther and Strange are on the same team 100%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm going DPS.
Yeah. Guys, we had an Edgar on our team. Who am I supposed
I'm
to
excited. I'm DPS.
Oh, we just
tried to
fucking
mog you.
flexed on you,
What?
bro.
Bro, I have
Wow.
it. Why are
He
you
literally
flexing? I
has it. He
have it.
just doesn't have it equipped. You should write that in chat, dude. You're kind of late
Nah,
for
it's
equipping
fine.
that.
Nah, it's fine, it's fine, it's
I don't have it equipped. What is the point of mogging someone like that?
Just to let them know, bro.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
Hey, if he wants to go Winter Soldier, I'll let him. It's up to him.
No. I'd rather him on Black Panther, bro.
Before you attack, get ready.
Can you solo tank this one? I can go Moon Knight here. For this choke.
Are you asking the Strange who's not in the lobby?
Oh shit, true. Hey, Strange, I'm switching to DPS here. If you need another tank, I'll switch back. Just for this choke, bro.
Yeah, alright, bro.
Alright.
Battle starts in 5.
Oh, okay. At
Four,
least we have someone who
three,
sounds chill
two,
than the last one.
1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Winter Soldier as well.
I'll patch you up. This is a nice spot.
What the fuck happened? What happened to our Strange? What?
got
I
pulled,
look
got
away
pulled.
for a second.
He got pulled,
He got
bro.
fucking killed.
Oh, I
Also,
can't-
the Emma
can't-
shield, Emma
go
shield.
Behind the fucking Emma shield.
I have a Mantis. Yep.
Yeah. Mantis, Wanda, Bucky, Emma, Range, Luna.
I'm gonna see if I could get the Winter Soldier, but the Strange keeps.
Oh my god, they wanna grab me, bad.
Okay, we got a pick. Got another pick.
Dead.
Push up. I'm with you.
Wanda low. Wanda dead.
Strange is dying.
Hi, I'm going after Luna.
I am ready to
The ultimate.
I'll
Can't
take-
see you. Can't get you. There's a bubble.
We can go through that.
I'm Strange one up.
They're back. Oh.
Bro. It's fine. Why me? We ain't getting grabbed, dude.
You're welcome.
Okay. Nice.
that vehicle to its destination.
I love how Winter Soldier gets his ult so fast.
Where?
Armor packed here. Pay up. I'll patch you up.
You better get his ult fast, bro. The fuck?
Do they have a Magneto?
No.
Do you want me to ult this?
Wait for
Up
the
to
ult for
you. Our
already
BP
ulted,
is
but-
deep. Okay.
Someone's up here. Or what is up there? No, that's red beacon. Someone just for that.
God, that's great.
Whose ult am I waiting for again? Okay.
Nice.
You can ult whenever you want, dude. Holy fuck.
I'm holding my ult because it's killing them, so it should be a waste.
Yeah. If anything, wait for that.
Push up. You don't have to stand here. No, all of us have to stand here, bro.
when Winter Soldier attacked him, I was on top of him. So
I got ulti for next fight.
I'm not gonna push up if no one else is pushing up.
Yeah, move up a bit.
Oh,
They're portaling. They're portaling.
No, I'm the only one that he got. Fuck.
We told you
Oh.
he was portaling. You stay there.
Bucky behind. Bucky behind. He got me. He got me and the beacon.
The
Hey,
beacon was right.
you guys can just stay by me. I will fucking phase out of that shit.
I'm gonna get some revenge.
Bro, I ran.
Yeah, I know, but either way, I phased out of it. And also, I heard it, so I knew they were TPing if they're doing it all the way over there.
Who died to that?
We can win this fight. I gotta
Step bro. Step bro, literally the only one who died.
Bro, they literally TP'd right on my head, bro.
I mean, yeah, because we were about to split up. That's why I was like, yo, we gotta.
They have a thing for BP.
Yeah.
I can ult this.
For their BP.
I hear someone behind.
Oh hell no! Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good.
You dogging
Come on,
me?
let's do that too. Yes. We win this fight.
I am ready to put on a show.
Okay.
We can go through that.
Yes, we can.
He's low. Nice.
Moon
Alright,
can go through the ult if I do damage. Like if I have an ult.
Honk.
Yeah, to be fair, you can really kill Luna through her ult as long as her shield is in there. Just hit headshots. And like,
Yeah.
you
Vehicle reached
can
the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Careful with that pull.
Wait, they have a depth pool?
This is real firepower.
I'm waiting for the Winter Soldier to ult. Bro, it's not
He
ulting.
hasn't ulted, yeah. That's why.
Yeah. Like, I'm just waiting.
Which one? Theirs?
Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is kind of. I don't even know what to say.
We deliver this to Null. He's
Oh, we have Phoenix now?
He's been holding that.
We have a Phoenix now. Oh, we have a Phoenix now.
Yeah, we have a Phoenix.
They switched off of Wanda, the triple support. They have the Intermission now.
Okay. We're off the
Yeah.
BP because of the tank. I mean, the fucking thing. Yeah.
I'm assuming the Winter Soldier might be waiting for the Strange to ult.
I mean, okay,
Bro,
more
I
ults
just-
for us. Then.
Wait, no, guys, Winter Soldier behind.
He's dead, bro.
Sorry, I thought he was gonna
I ult on the thing, sorry.
You're good,
Fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, finally, bro. This guy's holding it for next round, bro. For real.
3, 2, 0.
Bro, I have 4 revives. That's pretty good. Considering our team doesn't have that many deaths. Hope that.
I'm assuming it was mostly the BP.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely the BP. I could have got him a couple more times, but he was out of range.
Or attacking now. We should be good with the same team up. I feel like.
Nice, good round.
No, we're defending. We're defending.
Thank you, Ice Bullets. Yeah, they got Foxy Dot on their team. The fuck? Foxy Dot?
Yo, man, let's combine ults here.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
with your ult, I
hi,
can
Ice.
shoot
Hello,
your ults.
hello. How are you? How's life? How's everything? Ice, you
No,
missed it. Oh my god, Ice, you missed our last game. The fucking
Bro, don't
Cyclops
tell me
was
to stop.
screaming in our ear to heal him. He was like,
coming in
oh,
30
you're...
seconds.
And,
Stay
oh, he was
strong.
using the R word too, calling us...
Hey, you saw that restraint though, right?
Alright.
Like, I learned from my mistakes.
There's no shooter like me, buddy.
Every time you say Ice joins the shine, you say Ice. I feel like you're talking about like Ice.
Yeah, immigration. Yeah, Roxy's a Fed confirmed, bro. Roxy. Roxy's wearing a wire, bro, the whole time. Holy.
Yeah, you know what? I was just like, I was expecting more from you, but at the same time, I didn't want you to do more because I was like, if you piss him off even more, he might just throw the game.
Nah, after Stepbro yelled at him back, like this guy, he went to his indoor voice. At least a little bit.
You did. That is so true. You standing up for us, he went to his indoor voice.
He was like those chihuahuas that Roxy hates.
Oh, that's
I
a
know,
Moon
he
Knight.
was behind you, by the way.
More bad guys. Just what we need.
Strange slow.
I'll patch you up.
Oh, Venom behind me. Venom behind. Venom behind. Venom behind. Venom behind.
These keyhole things are dangerous.
I think this Venom's lost.
You guys die? Oh my god. I'm dying. What the fuck?
Are you
Sorry, I had to
dying?
go do it.
Oh no!
I killed the Venom though. So there's only
Oh
3
my
humans.
god, leave me alone, you ass. I can't.
Oh, I have to reload T. I'm sorry.
Bro is so worried about ice, he's about to run from me. Don't worry, T, you're
I'm dead.
legal.
I'm dead.
Alright, that go. Oh, okay, night night, Ruby, night night.
Guys, they're gonna get the point.
You know what, Ruby, you saw plain and clear. I'm not the issue, okay? We got
Guys.
some
Dude,
shitty
why did he
people.
go back to BP? Why did he go back to BP?
Okay, they have one. They have triple support. They have triple support. That's why.
Why did he?
Holy fuck, bro.
That Moon Knight's gonna be annoying.
Why are we
Yeah.
getting hit from back here?
Moon Knight, bro. Venom, bro.
When he comes to Moon
Where are
Knight,
you,
he's
Mad Moon? Wait,
I'm behind you. I'm behind you. I'm behind you. Don't worry.
we need a second tank. We need a second tank.
Yeah.
He's one.
There's a Venom coming from above. Venom from
I'll
above.
have all. I'll have all. I'll
Mad
switch
Moon!
after.
Mad Moon! Mad Moon!
By the eye of Agamotto.
Dude,
I'm dead. I'm dead.
You're not dead. You're not dead. You're not dead. You're not dead. You're not dead.
their Moon Knight is being pocketed by the 3 supports.
Yeah.
Venom.
The Venom is harassing Roxy.
It's okay. He's just squishy. It's fine.
I'm not there, my bad. Yeah, he's a big dude. Like, he can kill him easily.
Yeah. I mean, like.
He just has a fuck. He just has a fuck ton of health. That's about it.
No, the problem is that his over.
This guy alt on that, bro.
I'm gonna ult this. Keep me alive.
I must
After
be on the ult. I mean, Invis. Yep.
Oh, brother.
Wait, they both ulted? Yeah,
Yep.
they did.
Yeah.
No,
It's
no
fine.
other.
It's fine. It's fine.
Broke my beacon. King can die. King can still die.
They wasted both ults for one, and then.
Venom on point. Venom on point still.
Venom on point, yeah.
Oh my god. Almost died.
It's fine. He's not
Yeah,
gonna
I'm telling
fight.
you. Yeah. If y'all heal each other, he's gonna run away just because. The only like real damage he does is with his ult.
I missed. He's low.
Mad Moon.
There you go. He's just fitting the ult right here.
Thank my ult, by the way.
Have a
But
thing
they don't
again?
have support ult, so it should be fine.
Who did we just lose?
My bad.
I guess he's back. He's back. No, Strange. No, Strange. Oh, that was so close, dude.
Dude.
Bro, Sever, you have 2 of them.
You're good. I'm just getting charged here. Yeah, that's one.
Where the fuck is Black Panther, bro?
I'm looking at Venom. Yeah, fight.
No, I can't help you with that. I can't help you with that.
It was ult.
Mad Moon.
I'm trying.
Mad Moon.
Why did you leave the bubble? Why did you leave the bubble? This is your bubble.
I didn't know you went back to the bubble. You were leaving the bubble. I thought
I'm just trying not to get hit by Venom, bro. I'm reloading. I'm so sorry. I'm reloading.
Look at each other. Don't fight it. Look at each other.
All right. Holy fuck, dude.
Guys, I'm holding point by myself.
I
I'm
know.
holding.
Diesel, you've ever to outlive a fucking Venom.
Freaking out here, I fought 4 people on the point.
Don't worry.
Killed 2 of them and left 2 of them low.
Holy fuck, dude. Oh, you're not alted. When did they get a Scarlet Witch, bro?
It's fine. She ulted all the way back there. It's fine.
Wait,
Look
straight.
at this Venom. Look at this Venom.
I'm not gonna make it easy.
Okay.
Rox, stay. You can't kill a Venom. Rox, you can't.
Yeah, we gotta regroup. We have to regroup. If we don't regroup, it's over.
Bubble down. Like, I don't know.
Yes, but in your
Bro, this
bubble, you
Black
get
Panther
extra
has to
healing.
quit. I'm sorry. I don't know that Black Panther's trying. He's doing good, but he needs to switch. Like, he's not doing enough.
Holy fuck, Punisher.
Hey,
Venom.
Are you okay?
I'm fighting Venom. I'm fighting
Okay.
Venom. Dead.
Okay.
Moon Knight dead. Moon Knight dead.
GP's dead. Thing's still alive over here.
Thing is at the back.
I'm pushing with the string.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Luna low. Luna dead. Nice. Bro, go back, Strange, go back a little bit.
Strange is still going forward. Strange.
If you ult, I'm ulting. I already have it again.
We are undefeatable.
Oh, Mantis ult.
Okay.
Invis has an ulti, right?
Oh my god. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh no. That's not good.
Bro.
I was gonna say that. I was literally
I did not
like,
expect that.
where is that? Just get to point. Someone get to point.
It's gonna have to be BP.
Get on point. Is he not on point? We're not.
They went hold. And ult at some point, of course.
Fuck yeah, that was a crazy combo they pulled on us, bro. Oh my god, I'm stuck on a fucking corner, bro. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Yo, this Wanda is
Bro, we win Phoenix now. Are those the only two characters this man knows how to play? Phoenix and Black Panther.
I will take that if he can.
Okay, we can still hold this. We just have to hold this for 1 minute, and we're good.
1 minute? Okay, well, I already have all. So
I have ult. I've been holding it. I've been waiting for the Strange to ult on top of them, please.
Let me know whenever you ult it, Matt, so I can ult it.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm solo. Moon Knight on this corner over here. Who's hitting me, bro?
It's fucking Wanda and Moon Knight, bro.
I've been insulted.
Hulk backline.
I'm trying to help.
Push up.
Wait, we're fighting a Hulk by here. Wait, we're fighting a Hulk.
I'm on point. Oh, Rocket All's on point. Please help. Rocket All on point.
Wait, I missed, bro. Hulk D4 or whatever.
Oh my god.
I think they have portal, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
They definitely do.
Well, I wasted my ult. They have a Punisher now.
They do have time.
Yeah, I'm moving off the point for a second. Yeah, he didn't hit anybody with that.
No. Kill Rocket, nice.
He's dead. Oh, flying in the back line.
Oh, again? I was in the middle of a grab. I'm sorry, Roxy.
No, I died. Oh fuck.
Bro, are we gonna lose this?
Yeah.
It's fine. We got fun. We got.
We don't. Let's flash. Get in here. Get in.
Dive.
Shotgun.
Fuck, we don't lose this. I'm in, but I'm dead.
Oh my god. Was that our changes? No.
Bro, why did the Phoenix not go in? She was right there.
She moved out because she was getting ulted.
Bro. The Hulk fucking lived as Bruce Banner, bro. Oh my god.
Hey, wait,
I should have switched to Emma here. I should have switched it.
Okay, we have a whole minute on them. Right?
We got 3 minutes. They got 1 minute.
Okay, we have 2 minutes on them. We'll have time to like ult twice at least. Or hopefully. OT if we need to.
What?
You guys got this? Thanks. I hope so. I hope we do.
I can go Emma here instead of punish.
Oh my god, my eyes.
Hey, yo, can I get another thing?
Yep.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I'm going Emma for the Venom.
Can you do better on Winter Soldier? Oh yeah, that's you asking.
I'm asking. He will slow it. If he can do better, I'll switch.
42 out of 10.
Did he switch? I guess not.
Nope.
Oh, he did. He
Okay.
did. Okay. All right.
Wait, actually, let me go Moon Knight.
Hey, Mad Moon. Get your ass over here. What the fuck are you?
Chill, dude. Leave me alone.
Bitch, I need to be able to see you. Okay?
The battle starts in 5, 4.
You guys got this. They might portal early. That's true.
Hey, portal is gonna be back there, man.
The mission area.
Most likely. That'd be smart.
They put one here just
Yeah,
in
they're gonna
case.
TP. They're gonna TP. They're gonna TP.
They already portal.
There. Oh, Wanda. I'm being
still help
touched by
her.
Venom. Being touched by Venom.
I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help.
I don't know.
They're Wanda.
Invis.
Wanda's low. Wanda's low.
Just one tap. Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. No more.
They're gonna have like 3 seconds. The Venom's the only one that can make it. Venom and Punisher the only ones that can make it in time.
Yep.
And Luna if she skates.
No, he
Fast enough.
wasted his fucking shit.
We have a revive still, by the way, so one person can die. Venom on point. Oh, he missed it again. What the fuck?
Yeah, I kicked him.
Okay. Punisher dead.
Invis on the right side.
Emma's low. Emma's dead.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Mad Moon. I'm looking at you. You're a bubble.
Okay. Nice. Just hold his Venom one time. You dead? No E. I have my ult if we need it. Okay. Well, almost.
The current score is 3-2-3.
Alright. We're just gonna get this one notch, right?
I have ult, by the way.
No, you don't.
Doesn't carry over.
Alright, we good.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
I'm gonna go BP. Okay, he's going back to BP.
We got 3 minutes here, guys. We wait for Rox's ult, and then we push Matt in. Yeah.
Then Sting meat munches.
The thing is, no, Mamu's gonna get his ult first. Matt is gonna get his ult first, so after that, we're gonna push with Rox. So play slow here a bit.
Maybe split team with Portal? No, we don't need to do all that. We I mean, we have 3 minutes to try it, but...
Bro trying to bait their thing to go thing.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh my god, thank you for the raid, Fox Gray!
W raid.
How are you, Fox Gray? How are your games?
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Yo, try to
Deltarune?
stay close to me, guys, so I can grab that Venom. Alright, try to stay close to me.
Deltarune? Alright. Did you have fun? Huh? Did you enjoy yourself?
Trust me.
Oh my god.
Great.
It was great. That's nice. So nice to see you. You got to see me win.
We're gonna be able to melt this Hulk, right? If I grab one, we're gonna be able
Watch
to
them
melt
have a
this.
Spider-Man. Working Spider-Man, I'd be pissed.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
Have an Emma. Got an Emma? Yeah.
Yeah, Emma Luna team up. Fucking shield in the way, I can't heal you through that.
That's fine. Between me and Serpo, we should be able to melt it really fast.
Hulk back. Hulk run again.
Punisher out of turret. Hulk on the back half. He's low.
Watch out for Emma.
Watch out for the Wanda bubble.
I hate the Wanda bubbles.
Oh, fuck.
Emma.
Help!
Wanda,
I'm dead.
From the side, one from the side.
I'm dead. I'm so cooked. Holy fuck.
I'm trying to pay attention to our Emma.
It's fine. Hold it down. I'm almost back.
Oh, you're dead.
Yeah, Wanda and Hulk killed me in the back.
You're dead.
I'm back.
Almost back.
I don't have ult
Oh
though.
my god, that's theirs, not ours.
Hopefully you get revived. I don't know how far you are. Oh, everybody's dying. Never mind.
Yeah. They have a Moon Knight now.
Yeah, Moon Knight Wanda, not good for my survivability.
Hold your ult, don't use it. Hold your ult.
So this Moon Knight is not good for me.
Careful with ult, he's gonna go around.
Hulk on the side, guys. It's hard because I have to somehow heal around shields and the ice.
Yeah.
Oh, the Winter Soldier keeps making the Wanda miss his thing.
I'm being sucked by a Wanda!
No!
Careful the ults. Oh, they ulted everything.
Okay.
I'm gonna ult.
They don't have any more ults. Rocket dead, by the way.
Oh, push him with the cloak ult.
I'm messed up.
Grab.
I'm messed up again.
Wanda dead.
What?
I'm trying my best, dude. Oh my god.
What the fuck was that just now? What
You were getting juggled, dude. Can you just look at my if you can see what I saw on my screen? That shit was fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah, that's juggling with Hulk, bro. They nerfed.
Dude, she dropped her bubble. She like touched the very top of it and just never touched it again until it disappeared off the ground. Holy
My
fuck.
question is, how did our Benchikila had ace for the whole map for the whole time? How?
He took it
And
at the
I
very end.
way
He took
more-
it at the very end. I saw that shit too because I checked the score.
God, I
And I
only
saw-
got 23 points for that. What
No,
the
he
fuck?
had it. He had
I only
it
got
for most of
18
the
points
game.
for that.
Diamond 2.
Oh man.
What the fuck
I
is
got 24.
happening?
I only got 18 points for that.
I got 24 for that.
T, what'd you get?
I don't know.
30 something.
You don't want to say it aloud.
You don't want to say it? I'm gonna check.
Shit.
30.
I'll say
You
it.
scoundrel. Oh, you're in Diamond 3 now. You're in Diamond 3 now. Let's go.
I got 24.
Well, I'm gonna leave it here.
Nope,
Good night.
nope, we're playing one more. You're funny. We're playing one more. We're playing one more. Playing one more. Well, you was getting smacked like a toy. That was more than just a toy, guys.
That's the juggling, bro. It's hard to hit though. Like that's a good Hulk. If he's hitting juggles, it's a good Hulk.
Two
I
exiles.
played
and then
Hulk and I've
pop
like
up,
done that like
pop up, pop
probably
up,
like
just
2
knock
times,
me
and I
down.
have like
And I'm just like,
10
bad
hours,
dude,
20
don't
hours.
let
with
me
them.
die.
That's really hard
I
to do.
tried, dude. I tried. I didn't even know what was happening behind me, dude.
I was lucky that I at least touch. I was lucky I at least touch my bubble because that gives me 60 healing, and I'm like, god damn. God damn. Crazy.
You just like CC immune just getting juggled just crazy.
Oh my god. He touched me inappropriately, guys. I feel unsafe. I feel unsafe. I feel unsafe.
I mean, he was off the point though because he was doing all that. So
Yep. Right. He's
Which
too busy
hero do you
focused on the
think you
healer.
wanna be today?
That he couldn't kill. Oh!
Who are you calling a raccoon, huh?
Captain America. Let's go.
Dr.
Now, who
Dr.
got
Pepper.
advantage from this match?
Dr. Pepper.
Yep.
Show me on the doll where he touched you, bro.
Oh my god.
It was actually crazy.
That is crazy for you to say that, man. That's crazy.
Oh, they banned Moon Knight. I wonder why. I wonder why.
Yeah, we can ban Gambit. I hope they ban Cyclops. Yes!
Nice.
This
Do
is
we
how it
ban
works.
Penny? Or what? Do we ban Star-Lord? What do we ban? Star-Lord?
I'm gonna go Star-Lord. You guys can ban Phoenix.
Here, Iron Man or Star Lord's good because it's a really open map.
Yep. It's just like Star Wars really good on this map. I hate it.
Brute. They all ban Ultron, bro. Target ban.
Heroes could make all the difference.
Not my Ultron.
Does this person want to go healer or?
Oh, please tell me. Please tell me they play something else. Please tell me they play something else. No, they don't. They don't.
What?
Okay.
Fair.
Okay, thanks. I was gonna start crying, bro.
Oh, I love how both tanks were like, oh yeah.
They don't
let's
want
go
the
do
Lord Ultron smoke, bro.
I
They
was gonna
don't,
start
bro.
crying there.
Actually
Well,
terrified.
that's weird. To go from a C and D to a Hella.
Just say it. There's nothing I can't fix.
Breaking the stereotypes. D&D players can aim. Well, actually, we're about to find out.
Yeah, we're about to find out.
We're about to find out. You're right about that.
I'm impressed, kid.
You know what
That's some
I what I
serious
hate
tech you
most
were
is
in
when
there.
people get a PC and then play with controller.
Yeah.
That's what gets me
T.
mad.
We're talking to you.
That tree is a Flora Colossus, and his name is Groot.
Crazy. Crazy hating.
I mean, he can hate me all he wants, but he can't complain about how I play.
Aim don't mean shit.
We need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
No
Hey.
wonder they banned Moon Knight.
Big ass dinosaur on the team.
Yeah, no wonder.
Fair enough. Maybe someone should go punish.
They have a frick, how is this called late. To be fair, I've been learning on keyboard, but on rank I might as well play the thing I know the most.
So this Star-Lord is coming back and choosing you guys for my hero, by the way.
They don't have a Star-Lord, what do you mean?
I mean Strange. Strange. That's Strange.
They have a Human Torch, bro, and it's working.
Yes, they do.
Okay, guys, I don't know what to tell you. Can we get a kill, please?
Oh,
Yeah.
Strange died. We need to kill the Loki as well.
Dude, they just literally got
Matt, where are you going?
To the point.
Yo, Cap is not gonna work against this comp, bro. You can't dive this. I'm not saying you're bad or anything, bro. It's just you're not gonna do it to dive this, bro.
Bro, am I gonna have to go ammo here?
No, I can't heal whoever's on point, by the way. They're blocking us.
I gotta switch.
I'm sorry, Cap.
Wait, actually, I can go thing, right?
Yeah.
Wait, did you leave?
Yeah. Oh.
And then they killed your revive.
Yeah, I feel like.
Sorry, I'm getting chased by the Human Torch like a motherfucker, dude. Bro does not want to see me breathing. That's why they banned Ultron, bro. That's why they banned Ultron.
Wait, why?
Because they have a Human
Because
Torch.
Ultron is good against Human Torch?
Ultron's sick, dude.
Also have ult.
I thought he was gonna ult, not gonna lie.
Who died? Oh, fuck. Dr. Pepper, bro. Yeah, this team is, pretty good.
Who did he ult?
We tried to ult you guys, but it didn't work. Oh, hell no.
I walked in it. I walked in it.
I'm so sorry. The wall appeared in front of where I was healing you, and I couldn't do anything after
I
that.
literally walked in. Why am I the only tank?
I'm dead.
Why do we have a Spidey?
Dr. Pepper was
Because I told him that it wasn't a good Yo, you wanna go to the
Oh, no. Let him do Spidey on Human Torch. It might work.
I can ult in.
Ult it.
We're gonna ult in. Don't think it too much.
I know, I'm just like, I'm waiting for you guys to...
Break the freaking totems, bro. Why does nobody shoot the Loki things, bro? Oh my god. Oh my god, you guys. Ah! It's hot.
Switching. I'm going thing.
Healer dead.
I'm gonna die here.
Oh, the healer dead.
I died here.
Oh,
Hello, please.
Do you have a Loki?
Hello, please. Let's go, Loki. Let's go, Hella. They've been at a Loki the whole time.
No, I thought we had a Loki.
Oh, no.
Nope. Between me and Mamu, who did you think was playing Loki?
No, I thought we had a Loki. Not one of you guys, obviously. Like, come on.
Obviously, come on.
You guys don't have the capacity for it.
No, I definitely do not.
Oh my god.
Oh wow, bro got annihilated.
Oh my god, I can't get used to the shield.
Bro, I mean, I'm burned. I'm bleeding. Only thing that's missing is anti.
What about that one? Did you think about that one?
Oh, bro, no. I'm actually anti now. I'm bleeding. I can't be the only tank.
Hello, please.
Spidey, bro. It's literally a fight.
Blade. Let me kill Blade.
Someone kill Billy?
Bro, I'm so useless right now. I'm so useless.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Dude, Blade's fucking lifesteal is hooking me right now.
Wait, we all died? Oh my god.
Not all of us. I mean,
I'm a boy.
all the important ones are about to die.
They got it.
Bro,
What
do
the
I
fuck?
go Dino
Where the
instead?
fuck is
I
no
don't know
more,
what
bro?
to
No more.
do.
Where are you, bro? Oh shit.
I'm trying to live, brother.
Yeah, I don't know about
What do
that,
I
man.
do? What do I do, people?
Both tanks walked me.
Should I just go? Should I go Dino? Should I go Strange? I
No,
can
don't go
Strange.
Dino. Don't go Dino. Don't go Dino. You won't be. He'll grab you to the back and shield him up, or the Strange will shield you. It's just a bigger tolerance.
And what? Okay, and what's gonna be the difference when we go in any other tank?
Okay. Okay.
Spidey's bad, bro.
Oh man.
Can you get off, Spidey?
I straight up think the only thing I can go is Dino.
Go no more.
It's now or never. Stop them. Better stop that vehicle.
No pun. We have pun. I don't know how long we've had this pun, but we have a pun.
No.
I'm okay with the Punisher. I think Punisher is great.
Bro, please kill anybody. Oh my god.
I'm just in the space. Don't die, please. Just in the space. Even though I'm not killing, I'm just being annoying.
T. Come back.
Holy fuck, bro. Holy fuck, bro. They used like
Oh my
5
God.
ults there, bro.
How many ults was that?
At least 4.
I'm gonna die here.
Dino. So they only have healer ults.
There you go. We're fine.
Yeah.
The Dino ult I canceled it with my ult, so
Yeah, they only have support ults.
How the fuck is she doing better without the team up than with the team up?
Only 60 seconds left.
Who?
Stop them in their tracks.
Or Hello.
Hella? I mean,
Dr. Pepper
Hella was
would
good the whole
Punisher.
time, dude. There's our Punisher that was really lacking. I mean, still is lacking. It's not getting
yeah, he still
twisted,
is.
bro. Oh, hell no. I can't help you with that one.
No, you're good. I thought our Punisher. I swear to God, I thought our Punisher. That's why I did it.
I'm okay.
We're gonna have
they'll be
That's
popping.
That's not good.
yeah. It's fine.
It's okay. Madman will have control. Or has control.
I'm not. I'm at 70.
Okay, that's fine. You'll get it before they do.
Who the fuck is? Oh no, not Loki. Oh,
There
please,
we go. Kill the healer.
please.
Loki's slow. Take portal.
I ulted on point. Range is through. Okay, nice.
Pushed them all the way in again, bro. I scared him in.
I think that was my only elimination right there. Was that fight right there at the
Our
very end?
Punisher's dog shit, bro. I don't
Yeah.
You know what? He's doing better on Punisher than he was anywhere any other.
As a stranger, whoever he was.
Bro, Punisher's easy to play. You can't do good in Punisher. I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Dude, he has to make up for all the shit he did with Spider-Man. Okay,
I mean, all the shit he didn't do.
catching up. Yeah, sorry, the shit he didn't do. My apologies.
So we're attacking now. They still
Yeah.
don't have a character I can freaking diff with Magneto, so I won't go Magneto.
Okay.
If they end up having a Punisher, then I'll go, or a Namor, then I'll go Magneto.
Well,
30 seconds before you attack.
I mean, if anything,
let's
they have a
see.
Loki, our Punisher could go Moon Knight.
They have a dinosaur.
They banned Moon Knight, didn't they?
Yeah, they ban Moon Knight.
They have a.
Good round, guys. Good round.
They have a Phoenix.
Yep, they have a
They have a Strange.
Oh my!
Strange. Yep.
The battle starts in 5, 4,
I
They have
can guess why the Phoenix.
2,
Look for the pulls here.
help get that vehicle to its destination.
They got an Noir now.
I thought I saw it. Yeah, wasn't sure.
Bro.
They have a Namor.
Yeah. And a Loki.
Calm down.
I'm getting pulled to the back and I can't help you because there's shields. All their shields are blocking.
I'm aware of that. You don't gotta tell me. I know. I gotta go back. That's why I'm saving my freaking dash thing.
Behind you, T, there's a bubble.
I'm in the bubble.
Yeah, I know. I'm just telling you about the bubble. I
Yo, calm down, calm down, calm down. Too much hostility, too much hostility.
Everything you say, I'm already doing.
No, no, you're not. I don't see it.
Yo, chill, 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 chill. There's no way that hit me, dude. I was in the fucking air.
Namor was so low. All of you are dead, aren't they?
Yeah.
I gotta heal it down, heal it down.
I'm dead. And Hell is dead.
Dude, I can't heal you if you keep going and getting shot. Why did he just keep going forward as if he was a tank?
Okay.
I have all of them.
We all have ult, basically. Can we kill this dinosaur without an ult? No? Okay.
Where's our Punisher and Hell? I don't know if they're alive.
Alright, push up with that.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. She's doing a lot, she's doing a lot, she's doing a lot.
Yeah, they literally have a Phoenix just for me. That's it. Just for me.
How am I alive? How am I alive? I'm dead.
Here, bro.
I met Mad Moon, T. I met Mad Moon.
What?
But also, hi, King.
No, we're good, yeah. Just sorry, DPS your dog, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
Home Slice went Jeff. I'm gonna ult
Okay.
him, by the way. Okay, not gonna lie, I'm debating if I should get Emma skin. Oh, the Emma skin is so nice. Yeah, it really is nice. Very gooning.
Very gooning. Gooning alert.
I'm ulting.
Okay.
Ult.
Okay, they're ulting back.
They went invis again.
That was low, yeah, that was low.
Holy fuck, dude.
I'm too low. Your freaking bleed effect's annoying.
No, it's not. Why did the
Bro, freaking Namor's constantly on me.
There we go, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead.
Guys, I'm dead.
I'm dead.
It's just me and you, bro. It's just me and you, step bro.
Bro, Punisher stuff.
No way.
Oh, that's so tough. Phoenix on me. Phoenix is trying to kill me. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay, we're good.
Wait, you don't play Emma? I'd suggest you learn to play Emma if you're gonna buy the skin. It's really nice. It's really nice. Also, we don't have
Nice, nice. Take him. Take him off. Take him off. Take him off. Take him off. Take him.
Kill them more, bro. Kill them more, bro. Oh my god.
No, he didn't make it.
Yeah, they kill Invis.
Step point.
Oh my god, again.
Guys, I'm dying. I'm dying.
Oh, I can't help you with that. I'm so sorry.
I'm dead.
Bro, they ulted on Roxy.
Yep.
Both times.
No, the fucking squid got me, bro.
Yep.
I'm dead.
Is it over?
Yep.
Like I was getting the stranger way, and then Phoenix just pulled Thunder.
Damn.
No, boy.
Dr. Pepper, bro, please.
Our DPS.
Well, we lost the game.
Dog, bro.
Dr. Pepper, please.
Yeah, you're right. The limited ones, you might as well just use them. Good luck, King.
Y'all win if Dr. Pepper is AFK?
Bro, that's crazy. It's
Minus
crazy.
27?
I'm always right at the point of ranking up, and then we lose.
The fact that even the enemy team is saying that Dr. Pepper sucks is crazy.
Bro, there's no way.
True, avoid me.
My dude was dog, bro. He switched from what's his name?
Doctor
Punisher at the very end,
Strange?
so you don't see
Oh,
his
yeah.
accuracy. So you're not able to see his accuracy.
Alright, guys.
Emma before, but she's hard for me. Wait.
Oh my god.
Is she?
Yeah, I hit my mouse down though.
Okay, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna watch him real quick.
Oh, okay. Go washroom. Guys, everyone go to washroom. Go to washroom.
Guys, can we end it there?
Nope.
No, we can't end it
Nope.
there.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Nope, we're not ending it there.
Dude,
Man,
I'm
I
a,
have
I'm
over
a
3,000
six.
units saved up, but
I'm
I'm
at
waiting to get
6%.
all the
If I
limited
do rank too
units
flat, I'm
because
not
spending on
pushing
the
this
Emma
again.
skin. Fair enough. I already have all limited. I've already been spending. Oh, that reminds me. Should I keep
Yo,
going?
man, I'm gonna be laughing my ass if I hit Diamond 1 and you're still in Diamond 1. I'm Diamond 2 already, like, positive right now.
How is this guy in Diamond 2 and I'm in Diamond 3, bro? What the fuck? What the
Hey,
fuck?
I've been putting in the work, bro.
What the fuck? I am putting in the. Do you not see me struggling?
I don't know, bro.
I'm,
One giving me
I'm
points
about
because
to,
I
I'm
be
about
putting
to
the team
bitch
on
slap
back
this bitch.
sometimes.
I'm about to bitch slap this bitch. I'm about to bitch slap this bitch. I'm about to
I don't
bitch
know.
slap this
The
bitch. I'm
points
gonna
talk
bitch
by
slap him.
themselves, bro.
Guys, I'm gonna bitch slap him. Okay, we okay
Let me
with
see his
that? We
history.
go with that?
Minus
I'm about to
24,
bitch slap
minus
him,
21,
bro. His
plus
penny
25,
best
plus
was in
23.
such a bad spot.
What am I?
That's not best. Do it. Do.
Well, I'll be losing like 18 points and shit.
Solo works for me. I don't know. Wait.
I'll be losing 18 points, bro, and you be losing like 23. And then I
Why
gain
am I
24.
losing so many?
Cause
I'm
Yeah,
not.
I lost
you
16.
don't put the team in the back, bro.
I don't put the
I
team
lost
in the
16.
what?
In the back.
What does that mean?
That you're not doing anything. You're not carrying.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna just not do anything. I'll just sit and spawn, guys. You guys can win without me.
I mean, might as well, right?
Yeah, might as well, right? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is so dumb. I'm
So
fucking
you know
annoyed. I'm gonna spend
you're
the
not getting
only
that.
time.
You're not getting that skin.
Yep, it's not gonna let me get the skin. That's for sure. Yep, didn't let me get the skin. God
That
damn.
might be the one.
Yay! I have the MVP. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm not spending 600. I'm just not gonna get the skin. I'll get everything but the skin.
Bro, you're kidding, right?
Nope. I'm not spending 600 on
I
that
got
shit. The amount of money, units I spent on that, nah, I'm good.
When I went for the strange one, I got the skin as the third, and then they gave me everything else as a bonus.
No, it gives you. If you get the skin, you get everything. You get the whole bundle.
Yeah, I know. That's
It's
what
not a
I'm saying.
bonus.
It literally is called a bonus.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Friggin',
I'm
I
ready.
swear to God, Roxy, I'm gonna mute you. I will
What
mute
the fuck
you.
did I just come back to? What the hell?
It's called. It literally. It's called the bonus. It reads bonus.
The fuck did I miss, bro?
Okay.
Friggin' Roxy always has to contradict people.
Roxy doesn't have to contradict people. You just say shit.
You're contradicting him right now in that sentence.
Nope.
That was actually that was actually good
defending
timing.
myself. That's not contradicting. That's just me defending myself, yo.
She's fighting me over the fact that if you get the skin in the gambling event rivals, you get everything else, and I'm saying it's a bonus because it's called the bonus.
I mean,
and she's saying it's not.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying okay. I'm just saying okay.
You just said it's not.
I just said okay. Okay.
You're saying okay now.
That's all I was saying. Okay, T.
No, you were not. Really I'm muting her.
I'm confused now.
My dude, he's getting mad at me for everything I say, no matter what I say. You know they gave CMB less cake in her summer. I heard that. I heard they made her ass smaller. God damn, they made the same size as her.
Oh,
default.
yo, stop.
Stop the steal! Stop the steal! Stop the steal!
Yo, look at this real quick. Look
What?
at this. Where you at? Look at this. I'm about to make rocks mad. Second try.
Oh. Wait, stop
Just to
the.
prove you wrong. Second try. On my second balloon.
What are we proving wrong?
On my second balloon.
He's sharing a screen where he got the thing.
And I got
Emma
everything.
skin.
Okay, yeah, I just saying okay, T. Yeah, I don't understand.
Just proving you wrong, bro. I'm saying. I
Proving
got
what
this.
wrong?
Because
What
he's
are we
telling you that
proving
if you get the
what?
skin, you get everything. That's what's bonus.
Yeah, and I
So
said
on my
okay,
second balloon,
T.
I hit it.
And I
got
said
everything.
okay, T. Are we like deaf or something? Like, do we not listen?
I'm confused as to what the argument is here
I
exactly.
don't know either at this point.
T was telling you, you were like no, and before you were arguing with them.
I think they're arguing about what the concept of the word bonus means in this context.
Yeah, because
Because like I mean technically it is a bonus.
And that was T was selling her, but I got the skin though.
Yeah, and all I said was
I got the skin, guys.
bro wants to prove something everybody knows.
For me to stop the queue for
I
that,
thought that
bro.
we were fighting for. Yeah, cause I was
Yeah, we
gonna
have to
show.
stop
That's
Cause I was gonna
crazy,
show.
bro.
I was gonna show Alexa, like, bro, like, I got the skin. I got the whole thing. Cause I was pretty sure they were fighting because of it. Cause they were like, cause
Alright.
T was like, if you get the skin, you get the whole everything. That's why it's called bonus.
That's why it's called bonus.
Also, Legal's calling out thirsty ass bitches. But yeah, we should probably drink water. It's too much. I'm hard. Wow. What is this?
Dude, it's cause we took ourselves out of the queue now. We're cooked.
Right?
We're cooked.
Punishing us.
What is a bonus?
Oh, sadly, you know, 2 minutes. You know, it's sad. You know, it's 1:30. You know, it's the last game. But
You said something?
Oh my God.
You said something? You said 2 minutes, but I thought it was a 151 on the timer.
It is a bonus.
I'm getting judged by my little one because I put the beach skin on, bro. It's crazy.
Rightfully so, bro.
Bro,
Yeah,
he
I'm just
he
like,
pulled up and he's
so.
like, why do you have that on your screen, basically?
yo. Nah, you tell him why. You know,
You don't love
that's
me
it.
no more.
That's it.
Who are you calling
Yeah,
a
you
raccoon,
don't love
huh?
me no more.
Crazy.
That's it.
Lord Cap?
Who am I gonna banish
Okay.
from this
Another
match?
cap? God damn.
This is a Lord Cap, though. This is different.
Is the last
Yeah,
one
it's
not
different. It's better.
The Ultra Lord
No,
Cap.
the other one was face. The other one was dog shit. He went literally 2 tanks, 3 DPS, and he was dog shit on every single one of them.
Boosted. Oh, they're going dive. They're going dive. You want to ban a white fox? You're going dive, aren't you?
Okay.
You're gonna ban BP. Hey, it's not. We'll see. We'll see if they're going dive.
We'll see if they're going dive. No, I mean it could be anybody. It could be
I
anybody.
mean, based on their next.
It could be anybody. It could be
Wait,
anybody.
should we ban magic then?
Should we not ban like a normal
I can
ban?
diff a magic. I can diff a magic.
Psycho finance the crap out of me. Are they gonna ban
Oh, shit.
Penny? They banned Psycho.
Okay, that works out.
Pick your
I'd
hero.
rather fight against a
Or
magic than
villain.
a
I'm not judging.
Wait, he going tank?
Yeah, where's our cap, bro? I guess he's trying to do anti-dive if they're still diving. I guess. I don't know.
Bro, when it went to
I can single
soldier.
thing here.
You want me to go thing?
Why? There's no BP anymore.
They banned
Yeah, there's
BP in
no-
magic.
Well,
But a white
getting
cat-
shamed
a
by
white
kid is
cat
crazy.
or-
Oh my god. that
White Fox is
true.
banned.
That
Black
is
Cat?
True.
Yeah, Black Cat
Getting
maybe. I don't know.
shamed? Yeah, Black Cat. They might
Or
be on.
Daredevil even. I don't know. I mean, he's kind of nerfed, but
Just
DD got
saying,
nerfed,
There's
yeah.
nothing I can't
bad.
fix.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Black Cat is still very much annoying. Her ult is still very good.
Silent ult is annoying.
Yeah. God damn.
Bro, why can't I use my pull here?
Man. Getting shamed
Huh?
by your
I
own
can't-
child? That's
I can't
crazy,
use the
though.
pull here.
Yeah, some abilities you can't pull in the thing.
No, I'm saying I can't use
Battle
my
starts in 5,
my pull emote
4,
for emote.
Oh yeah, you can't use the walking ones.
1.
What is that floating
All you
emote?
need to do is capture the mission area.
Floating emote.
Got it?
He was floating just now.
Relay deployed. It ain't cheap.
They have a cap?
That was
No
crazy.
way. Well, they had a cap. The
Yeah,
Iron
the
Fist?
Spider-Man.
The how is Spider-Man and Iron Fist?
Yeah.
Already dead.
We 5 point. Go down.
It's yours to capture now.
Yeah. Thing was a good pick. Still Oz.
Where's Iron Fist? Where's Iron? I know he's still over here somewhere.
He's behind us. He's behind us.
Yeah, but where though?
Oh, he fucking broke my beacon, bro. Fuck. He's up here.
They have a. I know.
I know. Yeah.
Spider-Man behind.
Spider-Man low.
Oh, fucking Iron Fist
Iron Fist
whooping me,
low.
bro.
Emma also low. Emma half health low.
She's low, but I'm trying to not get killed by her.
Bro, they were rushing me. They were rushing.
Yeah,
You
they're
went Dino?
they're coordinated attack on you, bro.
Yeah, they went Dino.
I'll patch you up.
We have a Phoenix though. Shouldn't their dinosaur be cooked? Bro? Oh yeah, I guess you got too much dive. Bro, they're like all in this fucking side part, bro. What is happening? Bro, I can't heal you to this fucking wall.
We're all spread out here, guys. Pushing together, pushing together here.
I'm gonna ult.
Emma low.
Iron Fist behind.
Alright.
Move up.
Look at Invis. Right.
Oh, I'm being grabbed by Emma. Oh, and I got jumped by 3 of them.
Push up 1 point. Okay, never mind. They're all focusing the ult. Holy fuck.
I am ready to put on a show. Your team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
Someone scratch my back.
Oh, my team.
Spider-Man, guys, I'm up here healing you.
Holy fuck, bro. I swear I was only healing T for like a good minute there.
I'm gonna grab this Emma.
There's a wall. You're walled off. Hold on. Okay, you're back. Oh, never mind. Fuck, Iron Fist got my ass.
I got pulled by the Spidey.
Yeah, Iron Fist beat my ass.
Oh my god, Phoenix, why are you running the fuck away like that?
You ain't got rid of me.
Oh,
Damn.
I didn't realize Batman was dead. Sorry, Batman.
No, I died to Iron Fist. Trying to get out of the MO. He caught me lacking.
It would be better if they go Punisher instead of Phoenix.
Yep.
Relay deployed. It ain't cheap. Don't mind me. Don't mess with the amazing.
Oh, I died immediately.
Oh my
I'm
god.
sorry, I can't reach.
Wow.
I can't get you through that
Going
team.
to overtime.
Dude, this Phoenix just doesn't push up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
So, like, I'll just be back there with her, and I'm like, oh, okay, you're gonna fight this person.
Yeah, if she's not gonna push up, ignore her, bro. Pushing with us.
What's better, Emma's skin with the hat or the glasses on the Summers? I think
I
the
do
hat
the
looks
right
better,
thing unless the wrong
in
thing
my
is
opinion.
more
I
fun.
think the hat on her.
Yo, do you think you can go punish here, bro, for the dino?
Yeah, look at her. With
He
the
went.
hat.
He switched. He switched.
Appreciate, brother. Appreciate it.
Oh, look at that.
Literally, Lola.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Why not both?
Can you do both?
Yeah, why not neither, bro?
God damn. You just want to see her in all her glory, no distractions, right?
Bro, I
Batman?
Yeah.
can't use the emote for her.
Yeah, you are. It's in the chat.
No, you can't. You can't. None of the floating emotes. You can't use them in.
Oh yeah,
the...
you can't use them outside of the beach area.
Because it fucks up your hitbox, bro.
How does it fuck up your hitbox? You're only using it in...
Because if you use it in the middle of a fight, motherfuckers be like, yo, how is that floating, bro?
Stop pointing, stop pointing.
Spider-Man's coming from behind.
Spider-Man is behind us. Did someone just ult? What the fuck's that? Holy fuck, don't die. I'm ulting on point. Don't die, please. Come back. Dinosaur can die. Dinosaur's dead. Okay, okay. Spider-Man's still being annoying.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm chilling. He's still back there. He's just doing his own thing right now. Oh, Bucky.
I'm melted.
Okay. There's so much fucking water on the ground, bro.
There really is.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell yeah. No, T. No, my beacon.
No!
Fuck. Fuck.
I'm being. Oh my god. Never. I'm challenging.
I'm doing Magneto.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I'm dead too.
They got Moon Knight now.
Healer dead.
You got a Moon Knight? Okay. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
for
they
your
got a
big
Moon
ass.
Knight.
That's for your big ass.
Yeah, a Magneto and a Moon Knight.
Oh, Magneto for me? What?
Yeah, Magneto. I mean, they have a Magneto and a Moon Knight, so we should go Magneto also. So that we can protect our Broken Dagger. Also.
Actually, yeah, why didn't we have a Moon Knight for the Dino?
I don't know. If you want me to switch, I can switch.
We already have.
No,
We already
no,
have.
we
We
have
already
a
have.
Moon Knight. No, I'm saying like in the first.
No, I mean like switch into a shield tank.
Yeah, go mag if you want. It's probably better here.
Alright, I'll switch after I die because I'm already over here.
Holy fuck, bro.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I can't help the team right now.
I have ult. I'm ulting. On point.
Yeah, I'm switching.
Oh, that's not good.
We're fine.
This is real firepower.
Oh, she was one, bro. Fuck.
I know Luna was so low. How does he have that again? He just used that.
I don't know. That's crazy how he has it again.
That was actually so fast. That was like 40 seconds, bro. Oh, fuck. Not good. Not good.
How are they so fast though? That's my question.
Holy fuck, bro. Can we push up? We gotta kind of do that like now. No, I'm dead.
I'm on the point, but I'm gonna die.
I died.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man.
No winner yet. Going to overtime.
Somebody touch? Oh, okay, never mind. It's over. It's Jover.
It's Jover, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it Jover?
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Dude,
That was
next
a tough one.
Next time we ban VP, Magic, and Iron Fist.
The thing is, we didn't know that they were going.
Was it even the Iron Fist? I mean, it was,
No,
but like,
it's not the Iron Fist. It's the if our healers are getting low.
it was just our DPS didn't switch to counter that. Like, that's really all it was.
16 though. Wow.
20.
Yeah, but, like, we
Oh
couldn't
my
really do
god,
anything.
bro. Oh my god.
Well, I'm in minus 14 now.
Alright.
That's
well,
it. Nope, that's it. No.
You're done?
You're done.
I'm not D-ranking again. Freaking.
Yeah.
Every time you guys tell me,
swapping into anti
you guys tell me, hey, one more, we can't end on a loss. We end up D-ranking. We end up D-ranking, and then the next day I have to rank up again.
Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
lost 16 too. That was bad.
Well, I lost 20.
I lost 16 from that.
Oh,
It's
you're
fine.
back to you're back to Diamond 3? What?
It's okay.
Goddamn. Goddamn.
Who's back to Diamond 3? Oh, Step Bell?
If you lose.
Yeah. Rocks, this is a passing moment for me, okay?
It happens. It happens.
This is your rank.
It's okay. I'm only down 41 today so
your
far.
Holy shit.
This is your rank, Rocks, okay? This is a
This
passing
is
moment
your
for me.
rank? How dare you say that? How dare you say
Are we
that?
still
What
going?
fucking shit people are we doing? We can still go. I don't like to keep going because we'll get too far from T.
He's still in Diamond 3. If he's in Platinum 1, then we're cooked.
Okay, what's the problem with you getting so far away from me?
Because like realistically, if he's in Diamond 3, we can still play with him.
We're all in this together, okay, T?
Yeah,
we're all in this together. All of us. We're stuck together.
No, we're not. No, nah.
Listen,
Yes, we are, T. It's in the
it's fine. We can play without him. It's fine. As long as we don't go past like Grandmaster 3, which is not happening anytime soon.
No, if he D-ranks the plat though,
Yeah, if he plays with us in D ranks, then we have a problem.
Still have 2 weeks until the next season.
But
I
if
know,
we're
2
if
weeks
we're
to get
if we're in
into
like high
fucking
diamond,
Durham.
then
Oh,
he
I
won't
don't
lose
like
as
this.
much with
Look at
us, and he'll
that.
gain a lot more
God
with
damn
us.
it, I don't like how all these motherfuckers look. Why the fuck y'all look like that? Marvin Rivals?
Oh no,
Okay,
not
cool.
Marvin
We're
Rivals,
talking
bro.
about going
Soup
over.
Rats? What is this fucking Ratatouille, bro?
We are helping here.
Bro,
Oh,
since when does a freaking gallon of water has a freaking little
I am the
tape
god
on
of
top of?
thunder and the mightiest avenger.
Now,
Time is it?
who am I gonna banish
No, I'm
from
up.
this
This is gonna be my
match?
last.
Bro, what?
1240.
Yeah.
What are you talking about the water, bro?
Nah, it's just I'm opening a gallon of water because that's why
and no one? Okay.
I have for drinking, and it has like a little tape, you know, the little like tapes the juice has on top of like below the cap.
Like a seal?
It has that. Yeah,
On the
like
water?
seal, yeah.
Bro, bro,
Yeah.
they gotta make sure the water's not
You know
getting
that
fucked
man
with, bro.
only play this game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way, dude. The hell. Oh, it tastes like plastic.
Oh fuck.
Well, it's water, so
Are you sure it tastes like plastic, not chlorine?
No, you know how the water, if it's like some plastics, like get the taste of it. Yeah, like. Oh, it's water. I can't do anything about it.
But where's the water from? That's the real question.
From a
Right
supermarket.
heroes could make all the difference.
Oh fuck. But where did the supermarket get the water?
Who
I'm
are you
kidding, I'm
calling
kidding,
a
kidding. We're not
I
going
don't
to
know. I have no
Your
idea.
bro
I'm
eat the
assuming.
little plastic around the cap? No. He's saying the water tastes. Like, he's saying the water tastes. He didn't eat it. Don't worry. He didn't eat it.
Yeah, I've been trying to get my parents into like buying a filter for the entire house so you can just drink from the freaking
tap,
but
yeah.
like they're realizing now that I was right because buying too many water bottles is more expensive than buying a filter.
Wait, is your tap water connected to your water tank?
Yes.
Not- is it- okay, your water tank?
There's nothing I can't fix.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds.
All right, guys, are we gonna win this game? We
Yeah,
got
you can get- you
Dr.
guys
Google
can-
on the
wait,
team,
You guys can even get like those portable like filters, the one you put in the fridge, like the
like
what
a
are they
Brita
called?
filter.
No.
Brita,
No,
yeah.
that's not worth. It's not worth it though.
I know, but I'm saying like if they don't want to put down that much money to get it built into the house, that's also an option,
Yeah, but they don't
For
want it
now.
because it's more expensive, and they might as well like buy the big one for the entire house. Than just buy a small one,
Stop them from securing the mission area.
and then buy a big one.
Y'all a bunch of deadweights.
All right, guys, let's win this game.
I just saw how my Spidey started this game. We're losing, bro.
No.
You're welcome.
Well, we let the randos DPS completely, so are you okay?
Ooh, you guys lost T.
Yes, we did lose T.
We lost our best player, bro.
abandoned us.
Watch this grab. Watch this. I'm about to grab a string. There we go. Push it back in.
Listen, I chose to preserve my rank rather than lose and then possibly lose.
Psylocke.
I want to have
Somebody help me!
one day when I'm
Oh
dying.
my
I
god.
can't see you, dude, and I'm trying.
Try not to fucking die, bro. Oh my god. I mean, this guy, Deadpool wasted his ult on me, so at least there's that.
Guys.
Not that he's gonna get it back and say, yeah, you're cooked, bro.
I have a tank, a DPS, and a healer fighting me. Who's pushing y'all?
Madmoon died to.
Psylocke and then
people in
Deadpool, basically is what happened. Psylocke came behind me, I ran away from her. Tried to get the health pack, Deadpool ulted on me, killed me with the pistol, or the deagle or whatever, you know.
Next time, just come to me, okay?
It's not, okay, when there's a Psylocke in between us, it's hard, you know? Especially when she can dash, like, just as much as I can. Holy fuck, dude.
Okay?
Our DPS aren't.
Oh, I was trying, Spidey. I was trying. I don't know why you thought that was a good place to stay.
Psylocke!
Oh, behind you.
I'm dead. I'm not dead. Sorry, I went into panic mode again. Alright, now it's not good. There's too much dive on your side. Spider-Man needs to go, I'm just saying. Personally, I think we need a different tank. I don't know if Thor is the move here.
Thor is not the move. I thought you
Against,
like,
against Star-Lord and Psylocke and the fucking Ankle, bro. How is this motherfucker gonna help? Bro, please. Bro, please. Like, who's gonna get the Star-Lord? Can we get someone to help with Star-Lord, please?
Dude, this Spider-Man is awesome.
Like, I swear to God, he's about to show up. I'm about to get a spawn camp again.
Sorry, I tried.
I'm here. I'm here. The Deadpool ulted on me again. As soon as your ult is over, I'm ulting.
Oh. Okay, we stack it.
No, I'm dead.
I'm trying. Did you die? Did you die?
Nope, not. But Deadpool's in the back with a invis shield on him.
I hate to break it to you, but the back is also the front now.
Here. Bubble.
Oh my god. Yeah, Strange got his ult crazy fast, dude. Oh, the fucking Loki totem saved them. Magic, bro. I don't know if magic is not helping us.
Gonna go around.
Someone's around here. Someone's in the back.
Star-Lord above me. Star-Lord's gonna fucking touch me inappropriately.
Bubbling.
I'm dead.
I just got ult too. Fuck. Thing is better, I think.
Jesus Christ, man.
I don't think it's...
Bro, this guy's 3-3. At least, you know, like Spider-Man can do something at least. I believe in that guy's ability to get a body, like the character, not the player. But bro, Magic, if you don't kill the fucking backline.
Magic is terrible here because they have.
Yeah, Thor's been like useless, bro.
Oh, someone behind it here.
It's Doctor Strange. It's Doctor Strange.
Push in with us. Push in. Walk in with us. Don't get too far.
Yeah. Don't worry about
Strange behind you.
You good?
Strange is low. I'm dead. Starlight. Yes, he did. He ulted when I ulted last time, so he should. He's at 96. He probably has it back now. He definitely has it back now.
He's up there. Starlord's up here.
Not back yet. Hold it down.
Step behind me.
Did you die? Oh.
Yep. I'm resing. I'm reviving.
We lost like half our team.
Lost the rest of our team. My apologies.
Bro, please. I died anyways? Oh my god. Fucking DP on one side, Star-Lord on another side.
They have an invis? They're doing triple support?
No. I'm sorry. It was unfortunate placement.
Oh, we have a Black Panther now, guys. Black Panther, no more magic. That's exactly what we want to see, right?
Go Magic, go Magic, go, go Magic, go Magic, go. Do something, please.
Why is she focusing a tank on her ult, brother?
I'll patch you up.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
The current score is 0.
Hey,
Yo, Magic, do you want to go tank here, Magic? It's just,
Time to switch
I'm sorry,
including which side you're on.
brother, it's just...
We're not diving, and then when you do dive,
Bro,
bro,
I just saw you ult, like, you're doing amazing, right? But I saw you ult a fucking tank, bro.
What is
Like,
this Dr. Gould? No, get the
don't
fuck
feed
off
into the spool.
CB.
Practice magic on someone else's time, not mine, bro.
Walking the fish? You're not walking anything. Was that Spider-Man?
No, I mean, he's definitely walking the fish the way he. The
Dr.
point is
Google
moving.
and
you think
walking
you can go Wanda here, bro? Instead of Magic? I don't know what you're diving back there, bro. They have a Loki and an Invis. Both of them can just go away from you.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
And genuinely, bro. Oh, genuinely, bro. What is this guy cooking?
Yo! Guys, yesterday I learned what look genuinely means. Look genuinely. Wait, T, did you forget to leave?
Oh no, I'm watching and hearing you guys struggle.
Okay.
He's just very satisfied in his choice right now.
Capture the mission area. Got it?
Not this brain rot? Yeah, this is not brain rot. You're right. This is not brain rot. Alright, so basically, guys, we need to kill the Loki, we need to kill the Star-Lord, and then, move upwards.
Girl, don't jump backwards.
Where the fuck is our BP, bro?
No, I had Loki 1, bro. I had Loki 1. I had Loki
He told him, bro. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I look away from you for 1 second to try to heal a Venom, and this guy fucking died, man. Oh. What is bro staring at? What is, I mean, is swearing at, bro? Staring, swearing? Oh, thank you. Can we not do any of that? That'd be ideal.
Oh, I was gonna heal that Venom, but okay.
Can we kill the Psylocke? She's like over there. No? Okay. Bro, you're Venom, bro. You have like 500 health at least, bro. Go move in there, bro.
Why can't he keep going back and I'm like, wait, I'm moving, I have to move.
Bro's scared of like a fucking frail Asian woman, bro. Like, lock in, bro. Psylocke is not menacing, bro. Sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's a superhero, bro. I don't know what I'm saying. I mean, compared to Venom, at least, you know?
Look at you guys getting point.
Bro. Yeah, I know. You didn't think we'd get this far either, huh?
Step bro, step bro, step bro.
Help?
There are so many people right there in the corner.
Who the fuck is this, bro? Who does this guy think he is? Not Marvin Rivals, bro. Marvin Rivals on the left? Oh, fuck, I'm gonna die here. He took a picture on me.
gotta stay close to me, Rocks. You gotta stay close to
I'm
me, bro.
trying to stay close to you, but then the other half of the team is on the other side.
Forget about the other team. We're pushing the car here.
You're welcome.
You. And I have to stay with Mad Moon too. Mad Moon. I don't want my second brother to die like that.
All right, where's our team?
We really need to do something here. I can't be the only one doing something.
Hey, yo, Venom. Forget about the other strange, bro. Let me focus on strange. You focus on the back, bro. Dive with the Black Panther.
Where are you guys? I can't see you.
Bro, I genuinely can't help him, bro.
Brother, he's fucking dying.
Okay, we have 6 ults. Surely we can do something.
I'm trying to ult.
We have 3 minutes. Okay, there's 1 ult. Okay, there's 1 death.
Who the fuck saved him there?
Could have been Cloak.
Dude, where did Wanda go? Wanda, where'd you go? Oh, she went out. Okay, behind, there's a DP behind. I'm gonna ult. I'm tired of us not. Nice! Nice, we got 2. I'm dead. Wait, oh yeah, we got 2. We got their team. Wait, what the fuck?
This is real firepower.
Bro, their supports, man. They're still alive. My aim. Oh, my aim.
Those guys are about to shoot at us.
I'm dead.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. They're truly lucky my team has their eyes closed. Bruh.
Can we talk about Dr. Google for a second?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
Hopefully we can kill this fucking. There we go.
Kill this fucking Deadpool, bro. No, he got me with that.
I'm dead.
Oh my god. How the fuck did we live?
I killed 2 with accidentally.
I'll patch you up. Those guys are about to shoot.
Stack it. We live this.
I'm here. I'm on point. I'm getting shot at. I'm getting targeted. Okay, we're good. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. They broke my beacon.
Okay, 21.
Jesus Christ.
I will slowly walk there. Or Step Bro. Never mind, Step Bro will get there way before.
Surely y'all winning, bro? Bro. You have to tie it first.
Surely, guys.
I'll patch you up.
Whenever he ults, pull me, guys. I'll shield his ult.
Armor patch here. Hey up.
Bro.
I unleash the Vishanti.
Guys, I'm being.
Psylocke
Oh
behind.
my god, there's a Deadpool behind and a Psylocke.
Thank you.
What's his cat figurine? Okay, whatever. You're ready for action.
Okay. Roxy, are you ulting first? Okay.
This is real firepower.
Guys, I'm so. Oh my god, I got stuck in
Where the fuck does my ult go?
They just melted it.
Oh.
The Emma and the.
I was like, I swear I ulted, bro. That shit disappeared in like 2 seconds.
Nope.
Are we portal? Are we portaling? Portal? Are we portal?
Yeah.
Our Venom almost has ult. I don't know what that's. Our Wanda almost has ult.
Get that vehicle moving again.
There we go.
The final 10 seconds.
Second, we win this second.
Holy Psylocke ult, I died immediately, bro. Oh my god.
I am dead. I am dead. So much. We're all dead. God damn. Wait, why did Wanda? Oh.
Nah, it's over. It's over, dude. Fuck no. Marvin time. Fuck you, Marvin.
Oh. 2, 3. Just build her ult. God damn.
GG's.
Yep. Jesus.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Playing around in ring. Yeah, they are playing around, guys. We're playing around in ring.
Damn. I'm back in Diamond 2 now.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Dude, 41,000 healing. What the fuck? I lost 24. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. I'm the problem. I'm the problem there. I'm the problem. Not Dr. Google. Not Dr. Google. Walking Fish made it back. You know, made a comeback.
Dr. Google was dog shit. But...
Yep. 100% dog shit. Absolute dog shit. God damn. I don't know.
Hey, you guys tried at least.
2 days of ranked and y'all went down?
We went down today. I need you to understand. We went down today. Every other day, it was fine. Today?
Mad Moon lock in? It's hard, man. It's too hard.
Yeah, like we were winning a lot, like half and half, and then the last 2-3 games we just lost.
God. It was just bad.
What time is it? 2 o'clock? Yeah, okay.
We're done. Okay, we're calling it here, guys.
That's it. Good night, guys.
Can't end on a loss.
I'm glad I did not play in that game.
So,
oh my god, T. God damn it.
I would have ended in plat.
Anyways, thank you for the game, Step Bro, Mad Moon T. We'll get there tomorrow. Guys, it's so close to ranking to Diamond 2.
We'll get there tomorrow. Alright, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Gosh, I'm just depressed at this point. Mad Moon, what are we doing?
What are we doing? I don't know. I'm queuing up for another one.
Oh, you're going again? God damn.
I can't end this game with the stream with the negative elo. I can't.
And if you lose the next game, what then?
Fuck it. I guess I'm not sleeping.
I'm losing as much as I'm gaining. I don't know.
Dude, I'm losing way more than I'm gaining. Now we gotta get back to GM for real? What do you mean we, bro? Where were you? Where were you when I needed you?
Where were you, Sensen? Sensen, every time we're about to do this, it's like, Sensen's not here. Okay, moving on with our lives.
Oh, where are you?
We lost 5 games and we only won 3. Goddamn. I ended negative, by the way. Negative. I can't. I'm not even gonna do the calculations. I lost 24 points in 3 games.
I don't get invites, motherfucker.
I only got.
Bro, you just gotta be here, man.
Be there. Just be there. Just be there, Sensen. Be there.
At least you didn't D-rank, Roxy. Yeah, at least you didn't D-rank.
I'm close. I'm close.
I don't like the way you said that. If I'm doing something, I'm doing it. I ain't stopping to join you. If I know beforehand, I'll be there.
Oh.
Okay, well you gotta tell the boss about that one.
Google? No. Dr. Google, who you played with, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Guess what? He's a C&D main. And then his next, the next person he's played the most is Gambit. And then the next person he's played the most is Squirrel Girl. And then the person underneath that is Strange. And then we have the Venom.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right.
Pick your hero or villain. I'm not judging.
Her long toes? What?
What a name. What a name.
I'm always busy. It's how I stay not bored. I mean, I guess.
Oh my god.
I don't do impromptu, bro. I have
So
time to
Dr.
watch.
Google?
Yeah, yeah,
I
Dr.
guess they
Google.
were in Grandmaster 3 and they deranked all the way to Diamond 3.
Uh-huh.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
It ain't cheap.
They just deranked the whole time. Like they win a couple games, but they are losing so much.
You do you, kid. Just try to keep the volume down so the rest
They're
of
suffering.
Dr.
That's all it is.
Google.
Thanks. I promise to stick to my greatest hits.
Dude, even when they're playing team,
I'm sure it can't be any worse than Dazzler's disco.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mad Moon is heading that way right now. On God, bro. The fuck? Why am I? What? Bro, what the fuck is happening? Why am I jumping like that? What? What? What the fuck is happening on my screen, bro?
It's like stuttering when you jump. What the hell?
What the fuck? It's only when I jump though. Everything else is completely fine.
You see, you should stop playing.
It's only my jump.
You sure you keep on overeating?
You broke it with the door climb? Oh yeah, probably. Let me climb it to fix it. Nope, that didn't fix anything.
Literally, Lola is a rocket.
We fixed it, we fixed it. Don't worry, guys. W bug fix. Somebody told Guang Guang so that we can report that and get some good elo matches after this one. It's a rocket bug. Oh, it's a known bug. We're not getting elo for it then.
Yeah, no. Rocket has a lot of bugs.
Probably all the fur.
All the fur.
What the fuck, bro?
Am I the problem, guys?
No, 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 no. Wolf has a lot of bugs. Yeah, that guy's caught every bug in the book, bro.
I mean, no, I don't think so.
I'm talking about STDs, bro. But he regens off that, so it's fine.
To be fair, you did have some bad teammates.
Bro, those DPS in that one match, like we're doing nothing, bro. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, honestly, yeah, you're right.
Which one? The one with that cute motherfucker that went Squirrel Girl the whole time?
Yeah, that one was definitely bad.
Holy fuck.
This guy took my best DPS character away from me.
Holy fuck, that was crazy.
And I don't think
you tell me.
Huh?
I said you tell me if you were on Squirrel Girl.
I would have at least like caught some of them with the right click, you know? Because they had a Black Panther and an Iron Fist or whatever. They're just in the back line. I could have at least caught them. Dude, why is this like the easiest game of all time, bro?
I hate you. I literally hate you, man.
Tricky Joshua? Yo, I remember that guy.
Holy shit, that was
It's
the
Tricky
motherfucker that
Joshua.
banned my shit.
It's Tricky Joshua, the guy who banned your C&D and the other team's invis, bro. I mean, our team's invis, bro. We still won that game, didn't we?
Spider-Man.
Oh, no, we
What's
lost
he
that game.
saying? Wait, what's he saying? What's he saying? Whole team is what?
Report Joshua for throwing. Whole team doing bad. Stop projecting.
Nah, he did. No, ask him. No, type it.
Well,
Did he ban your guys' picks?
ban
No, if you're in team
picks?
chat, you need to ask. Did he ban your picks? Oh my god. Oh lord.
Yeah, he isn't doing anything.
That's the same
Typical
motherfucker.
Tricky Joshua.
Oh my god, Simpson got what the fuck? Simpson got wanted? Yeah, oh they said yeah, and he isn't doing anything. Typical just avoid that motherfucker.
Bro, you sent the message that was with way too many characters, bro. You gotta make your messages concise next time, man. Ain't nobody reading all that.
Oh, what the fuck is auto?
Ain't nobody reading all that, bro.
Apologize, that is. That was you. Oh my god.
What could you have possibly said that was more than 140 characters, bro?
You know, spaces count as characters, right?
Yeah.
Rocket, you match.
Letters. Oh my dude. People go above 100%.
I can't kill the Punisher though.
You gotta do like 250.
No, bro. This is we rocking with the OG Twitter limit, and that's it, bro.
Oh.
Dang it, why didn't I queue up with you? What?
Make it-
What the fuck? I hate you now. I hate you now. I hate you now. Why didn't you? Why can't I get games like this? Why can't I get games like this when we were
Why do you
playing?
hate me? What did I do?
I hate that you got lucky without me in it. Oh my gosh. I'm the problem, guys.
Sit down, Rocket.
Support this tweet. Oh,
Bro,
yeah,
you
bro.
ulted on me, bro. What the fuck?
Sit down, Rocket.
Oh, it's like that now? Okay. It's like that now. Now he's gonna target me.
Oh no.
Okay.
Because he spoke.
Yeah.
You're telling him typical tricky Joshua. That's so fucking hilarious. Where's T? I need to tell him.
Where's T?
Bro, sleep now. Well, not really. Probably doom scrolling.
Oh, 100%. Tomorrow's his last day of work.
Oh snap!
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Get off me, bro! No! 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 Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Fuck! The health pack was the other way.
Well, either way, your team is kind of shit for not helping you.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We have the point.
Lose just
Sit.
to fucking grief you? Okay.
No! You fucker! You fucker! You fucker! I use ellipsis all the time. Basically, put two messages in one. All right, man. Yo, subscribe and that won't happen to you.
Subscribe and won't happen.
What if I just heal my team from here? I think it'll work, right?
I would. Wouldn't even try. They're not gonna come back.
I just gotta leave the spawn a couple times.
Can you actually reach all the way? I can't see.
I can. It's bouncing. I can hear the. I can hear the healings.
Go with them. Go with them.
I'm going with them. Chill, dude.
I'm making sure, you know, this is your time. And if they don't protect you, your team is actual garbage.
If Namor doesn't protect me, then yeah, bro, it's over.
Yep, they deserve to lose. Like Namor, you're literally
Main point is, one little Sensen we got playing in. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, yeah, we'll send that message next time, bro. We'll let you know. We'll let you know. Don't know how that took so many characters, bro.
It's not 30 minutes though. It's usually right when I start streaming.
I mean, 30 minutes is fine because you're gonna warm up with some quick matches or whatever, you
Yeah,
know.
it makes sense because like I chat for like 15 to 20 minutes. You know what? Maybe we should stop playing quick matches. Maybe that's the right.
No. Oh, he tried to get me. He tried to get me. Oh, I ulted. My fault. My fault. I just realized they have a motherfucker on their team named Backshot Master.
That's actually. Oh, that was really bad.
Oh, that stuff.
Oh no, they got the strange who's portaling.
Fuck.
Wait, Tricky Joshua.
We stole the point. Oh no. We stole the point. Let's go. GG. I hope it was worth it, Joshua. If I could spell, this would be amazing.
By the way, his fucking career is private. That little piece of shit.
I don't know if you're going to Overwatch or Rivals or like Among Us or a booth version from Temu.
Huh?
At least my stats look good now. Mine is looking nice for real. Queen, Mother, Perfection. Oh, I answer to all three. Fair enough. I'll take that, Emma. You can talk your shit.
TQL King was, I mean, alt account lit. Lit
That's
little,
the guy.
little bro. Oh, alt account? Yeah, yeah, sure. Sure.
That's what he said last time. That's what he said. He said like 7 accounts in Eternity or some bullshit, bro.
Sure. I love how he tried to grieve our last game, but we still won. I was like, what the fuck?
Honestly, our Phoenix was a problem in that game, wasn't he?
The Phoenix ulting and spawn. No, they both were. Honestly, guys, at the end of the day, it's both of them.
No, our Spider-Man was actually trying for a bit. Our Phoenix
I know,
gave up at the end.
I get he was trying, but like, if you're gonna ban characters, you're automatically in the wrong. Automatically.
Who are you
So
calling
like,
a
there's no
raccoon?
coming back. Like,
Now,
both of them were in the
who
wrong.
am I
The
gonna
Phoenix was
banish
still
for
doing
this
damage
match?
though, but ulting in at spawn, like what the fuck? You made that. You dragged out the game even longer.
I mean, they could have made the mistake twice, but it's crazy that they did.
No, I take the first time because we had moved to the next map. That happens all the time. I'll take that.
I mean, the other one was after they respawned, so there's a chance they just didn't put their finger back on the button, you know, properly. WQ.
Fuck you. But they didn't say shit. Did they say sorry?
They might have. I don't remember. I think we were just too busy yelling at them. Oh fuck! I forgot to update the title. We're now up 48, I think. I mean, down 48. Bad one, you gotta learn DD. Bro, DD's nerf, bro. Also, when I play DD, I just fucking button mash. There's no learning happening.
He does have combos.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm not gonna learn anything. I'm just gonna keep button mashing.
Wait, is that what
Elsa? Do you think you can learn Elsa?
I can play Elsa.
Can you?
Yeah.
You'll need a top-notch team to win
I don't know. I don't.
Should I mog this story real quick?
No. It's kind of stupid to mog someone. You look like the loser if you mog. I don't understand what mogging is. Okay, you have them ultra, then play them. Why the fuck?
Because I'm trying to win this game, dude.
And,
and we have a white fox as our other healer, so I guess I gotta get locked in real quick.
A lot of people just don't have their thing equipped, like me. I used to fucking bad for people.
I flex magic. I flex on that magic, bro. Yeah, exactly. Did you get your magic lord, bro?
You were the one who said it'd be you're a loser if you flex it.
Huh? I said that?
No, I'm saying no. Sensen said that before.
Oh.
Like you're lame if you fucking flex on them.
What manner of creature are you?
All right, guys, we got this.
When you enter my realm, I will know everything.
I believe in this team. No, Tricky Joshua, bro.
How is he not banned though? People reported him, right? At this point.
I don't know.
Battle starts in 5, 4,
I mean, I imagine he would be more.
I can't wait to get big enough so I can tell my cat to mass report people.
That's crazy, dude. You're gonna start hate campaigns against people, harassment campaigns.
Only if they deserve it. Like that's
Who determines who deserves it, bro? That's crazy.
Tricky Joshua. Okay, Tricky Joshua.
I got the magic skin like 2 days ago. I haven't used it once. What's stopping you, brother?
I didn't say that. I did that all the time back when it was only Lord.
Didn't see that second part coming, bro.
I saw that.
Here comes Rocket again.
It's okay.
You're ready for action. This is a nice spot.
All right, guys, we're locking in. We're locking in now.
I believe in you. You guys got this.
Where the fuck did that guy go, bro? Where the okay, yeah, that's nobody's saving you, Star-Lord. You're too far.
Oh, that's there.
Is their nest still up, bro? What the fuck? Yo, who the fuck is that? Oh shit, Daredevil. Oh hell no! Oh hell no! Oh hell no! Oh hell! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! We live? We live? We lived through those.
Crazy how you live through that. Also, do they have a DD?
Yeah. They have a DD and a Bucky. Oh, White Fox. The fucking penny mines, bro. Oh shit. Fox fight. Dog fight. No way, dude.
Why'd you put it down that low?
Panic.
I'm like, this really works.
Okay, don't worry about it. Doesn't matter.
No, my
Nice.
6K.
Well point, nice. There's penny mines over there, by the way. Don't touch them.
I'm frozen.
For content.
You're frozen and slowly healing.
I'll patch you up.
Since I've been playing Mecha Community. Why am I
What's the
going to
difference
buy?
between-
Okay, do I buy House of
I am ready to put on a show.
Did you miss Magneto?
No, I probably.
No way. No way, dude.
Dead as Disco.
That's the rhythm fighting game.
I know.
What?
No.
But
You see me play a rhythm game.
You play a fucking fishing mini game, dude. It's cooked, man.
That's not a rhythm game. What the fuck?
I mean, there's a rhythm
To be
to
fair.
it. There's a rhythm to it.
No, there really isn't.
yeah, okay, at this point, I can claim that a fighting game is a rhythm game itself. Like a game like Guilty Gear or freaking Street Fighter is basically a rhythm game too. But are we going to accept that? I don't.
That's a two-sided rhythm game, though. The rhythm will change depending on, or like the inputs will change depending on what the other enemy's doing, you know? Or actual rhythm game is like a one-sided endeavor. Like you just do what it tells you to type thing. Now you have to figure out what to do. What the fuck is my... Oh, okay. Not, it's not. 26 schmackaroons. He is not LeBron? Yeah. Sorry, that was late. The Magneto not LeBron for sure,
but I'm
bro.
gonna buy date everything.
Date everything.
Yep. You guys. Maybe I should put a poll as well. Who do you guys think I should go for?
Bro, be your own
What
person, the
piece of
fuck?
furniture?
Be your own person. Whatever furniture you find the most appealing.
Any furniture you
Good job, guys. Good job, guys.
Use not LeBron.
Yeah. Maybe next time, you know? Not LeBron can't score every time.
Can I do... Oh no! Guys, I want to use the rest of my Steam wallet, but I have enough.
You're broke?
No, it's just the Steam wallet. There's not enough money in Steam.
Oh, if you're broke, just say you're broke, bro.
I'm not broke!
Score is
No! I have my actual fucking credit card. I'm not the one who puts money
time to
on this.
switch things up, including which
Mag
side
that
you're
dunk?
on. The right heroes could make
My
all
pants are
the
soaked.
What
He redeemed himself. He redeemed himself. Thank you, Backshot Master.
Was he on the last team last time?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
yeah, he was.
You said, you said that I just saw someone named Backshot Master.
This is the same game. Isn't it?
No?
Oh no, that was the other. Oh yeah, that was
Joshua.
last game. That was last game. That was last game. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Sorry, I thought this was the same game. Redeemed hydration check. All right, hold on. I was like, "Where's my water bottle?" But it's on the floor.
Drink that water. Drink that water. Cause you a thirsty ass bitch.
Such vulgar.
Where the fuck was I standing? What the fuck? Where the fuck was I just standing? I had to miss the dunk to make the 3-pointer? Yeah, exactly,
I've come to the
exactly.
realization that Rocket can like sit on some of the doors and all the shit. That's fucking smart. You sit there and you're healing your team in front of you. While no damn.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No, I fell.
Stop them from securing the mission area.
No, I fell for real.
She's dancing, she's dancing. Hey, if you like rhythm games, Roxy, why don't you play Crypt of the Necro
Oh god,
Dancer?
you say Osu, I'm going to fucking
Angela back. Oh, nice.
No, Crypt of the Necro Dancer.
Perp of the Necro?
Wait, Crypt of the Necro Dancer.
Trick of the Necro Dancer.
Jesus Christ, bro. Crypt of the Necro Dancer.
Dude, it's fucking muffled, okay?
Well, I'll rejoin if I can join back.
Sorry, I'm partially deaf,
Okay.
guys.
Does that sound better?
And blind, yes.
And blind?
I've been told I'm blind. Hello.
You've been told that, or you just...
I'm right in front of you. Roxy, I'm right beside you. You know? Biology day.
No, no more. Oh, fuck, bro. Fuck. Bro, jump to the portal, you pussy. Oh my god. Why would you portal if you're not gonna jump through it, bro?
For the mind games.
Right, the mind games.
Sounds like the perfect person to play Mecha Chameleon with. You can. Oh, Rocket, because he can climb up on shit. I don't know what you're. I don't know what you're referring to. Oh, good, Roxy, because she's blind. Yeah, that probably makes more sense to what you're referring to. I'm like, what? I mean, I guess so, for sure, bro. Roxy's blind and deaf. Yeah, she's cooked, bro.
Our generation selling killer.
Did I? I did not. I swear to God, I did not press E. I swear to God, I did not press that button.
Yeah.
They have a squirrel girl now, bro? What the fuck, man? Oh my god. Who did she ult on? Oh, Magneto.
It was right here on you.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about Angela. You're in the past. Okay, guys. So basically, we're getting cooked. And half of that might be my fault. Bro, Iron Man, I don't know if Iron Man's the move right now, bro.
Maybe he is.
Maybe not him as Iron Man. Backshot Master, bro, I don't know if Iron Man's the play, man. I'm sorry.
Alright guys, about the game.
Yeah.
I might play the Dead as this one.
Hey, nice.
Because you know, your girls will need a break.
Suffering.
W suffering?
I'm just tired. So much. Fucking
What are you crying about?
Rebel. Can't I have a day where I'm just positive? And I'm positive by a lot, not by shit?
Not by one game?
I need to find 6 people? No, okay, you know what? Fuck this. Me, Mad Moon, T, Step Bro, Ice, and Sensen. Sensen, I swear to fucking God, you do not show up tomorrow! I am fucking finding you, and I'm
No, my beacon, bro, you fucker. Oh my god. Can you not kill my beacon and my teammates?
So you tried asking.
Motherfucker got Angela on their team and we're like, yeah, let's go Human Torch and Iron Man. This is a great idea. My life be like. Holy fuck! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Magneto. I didn't let the beacon down. Oh my god, bro. Hold on, Backshot Master. You might be the GOAT. You might be the GOAT.
He's cooking. He's cooking.
Sometimes I fall. Don't be my life be like ooh.
I like how even Namor hates Namor, bro. Like, it's actually so funny. This guy's like, I know these wretched creatures from anywhere, bro. Both those are your Seek monsters, bro. The fuck? Aren't those your boys?
The W self-hatred.
I know these are wretched sea monsters from anywhere, bro. Come on, man. That's your ocean, bro. You just say monsters. Holy fuck, how did I live?
But is he wrong, though?
I mean, he's not wrong. Obviously, he's not wrong. Takes one to know one, for sure. Okay, we got Roxy stimming, unfortunately.
I'm sorry, I'll shut up now.
We better get a copyright strike on that one.
You really won't, but okay. and it wasn't me who started it, it was that man. So
yeah, but that man was muffled, bro. It doesn't count. Holy fuck, bro. Holy, bro, get off my beacon's dick, bro. Oh my god.
That is all you, Roxy? All me what? What is Simpson even accusing me of?
Put the ads on him. Oh my god, I'm dead.
Ads on him? You put ads on us.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
You bitch, you set your own ads.
No. No. Oh fuck.
I don't know.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Whatever you said during the ads. What did she even say?
Whatever the fuck you said during the ads, I didn't hear it. Oh.
During the ads?
Oh my god, I'm dead.
Oh no.
Wait, what?
What?
Not you.
Fuck, did they get it? Oh, they got it. Damn.
Score is 3-2-3.
Oh no. How much time do y'all have? We have 1 minute. You have how much time?
2 minutes and 41 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Who are you calling a
You guys
raccoon,
got
huh?
this. I'm just saying, Sensen. We're gonna play rank tomorrow. Be there or be square. Okay? Be there or be square. This
Need
game
Hero
needs a
Star-Lord?
Controller? God damn it.
What game needs a controller? Oh, the rhythm game?
I bought Toem. No,
Oh.
not the rhythm game.
Tome?
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 Yeah, I think it's Tome.
Tome?
Is it T-O-E-M?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
Tome.
even know what that is.
Oh. It's a
Yeah.
puzzle game.
It needs a controller?
It said it needed a controller.
Yeah, when are we playing that Escape or whatever demo?
Oh,
I don't know.
Or we were here, either one, I guess. I don't know.
It's so loud.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna hold this for 1 minute, and it's gonna be miraculous. Not good enough, bro. I need that time. Are you starting at 9 or 10, or late and 11 and what, bro? Like what, bro? Clearly, you need to be more
I'm
specific.
starting my usual time. It doesn't always be on time. Unless something happens. Empty picture. You can't place any photos in the frame since you don't have the amount them.
Backshot Master, hold it down, hold it down.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Yeah, I mean, technically there's no vowel in Backshot Master, so it could be like Back Shit Master, even, realistically.
Oh, what the fuck, that is even more crazy shit.
No. We lost a teammate.
Music has an attitude. Hatred.
No, we're losing teammates. Fuck. Fuck.
Music.
Fuck.
They eventually defeat a magical phenomenon. Home. How are you feeling?
I'm dead.
Excited. That's the spirit. Just like me when I was raised. Anyhow, I only seen for once.
Did we lose it? Oh fuck, we lost it. Oh no, we didn't lose it. No, we lost it.
Oh,
No, nothing for Ange is a little weird. Yeah, I don't know who's dealing with that, to be honest. I don't know who's supposed to be dealing with that. Holy fuck, man. Magneto, live! Live, Magneto! Live, Swagnito! Oh shit, my beacon, bro. Holy fuck, bro. He walks all over your whole team other than Thor, and that guy is throwing. He's doing his best, bro.
3, 2, 4.
Holy fuck.
Time to switch things up, including which
They went to Widow, bro? Lord Widow on their team? What the fuck? Oh, y'all seeing this?
So you can play it with the controller. I think it's just nicer for you to play with the controller. And that's
What are you talking about?
But you don't need a controller. You can always use it.
His best at feeding alt charge? He's doing what he can.
He's trying his best. He is trying his best.
His best is not good enough. Sorry.
His best is not good enough.
Wait, that man, Unity updated you on the whole situation with the you-know-who, right?
Kind of. Okay.
I'm still streaming, by the way, if you don't want to be specific.
Yeah, that's why I said
Okay.
you-know-who. I didn't. I'm
Okay,
not
okay,
saying
okay. Oh yeah, Mad Moon, my team banned my Star-Lord last match. Was it Joshua?
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, he does that.
Capture the mission area. Got it?
Yep, of course. Okay. Yeah, played with him before. He banned our healers.
Holy shit, dude. Hella just exploded in front of my face.
Yeah, that's why you don't really touch walls. Dude, be careful, especially you if you're falling all over.
Yo, honestly, if you're in a game with Tricky Joshua, just pick like a a bluffing character, so like he bans the wrong character, and then you're good. Also, how is his bans always going through, bro? Oh my fucking god!
Because he'll do it sometimes at the last minute. He'll do it sometimes at the last minute.
Bro, I fucking hate Penny, bro. I fucking hate Penny, bro.
Next time, well, I put him as a voice. So if we got Tricky Joshua, someone go Cyclops.
Someone go Cyclops, and someone go Hella, someone go fucking Groot, Phoenix, Hella, fucking Gambit.
Yeah, Phoenix, everyone that we don't want. And we just let him do all the bans. Don't even ban anything, okay? Don't even
Yeah. And if he you know, pretends like he knows us, we'll be like, yo, I don't remember you. Are you? Where the fuck is? Oh my God, Star-Lord, bro, please! You're so far away.
Isn't that the guy from last game?
This is real firepower. My good deed for the day.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay.
Down to 30 seconds.
Took a little while, but we made it. We got there in the end.
Got 30 seconds left.
That's a risky business, Star-Lord. Star-Lord, please.
Specifically had your name on.
Holy
That is
fuck.
true. Those mines being there. It's like,
I know, like
not
that spot
everyone
was
goes into that corner.
fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Especially because I mean, like I understand, but damn, bro.
All the way in the corner, bro. Like,
No, I mean, like you're coming from that side, it kind of makes sense, but it's still a crazy spot to put a whole web down, you know? Oh shit.
You guys have to stay on point.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
That didn't bounce where I wanted it to bounce, but it's fine. We got this. We got this. Oh my god. Fucking jump scare, bro.
Just too late. Just too late. Y'all saw that man's ass. That was the last thing you
Dude,
saw.
I saw this guy's whole Badusi in my face, bro. That guy damn near put his gooch in my mouth, bro. Holy fuck.
It was coming straight for you. Oh my god.
Fantastic. Showing up. Insane, bro. Guys, we're back in Diamond 1.
Nice.
Up 23. Where does that leave us? Down 25 total so far.
Are you gonna keep playing?
We must.
It's like 2 more games.
We play until we lose.
But you know what? You should type in all chat. Hopefully you won't get Tricky Joshua again. I'm kidding.
No. It's fine. It's fine. There's no Tricky Joshua. We don't need to torment. Is that man's fault? See, this is why we solo queue. I don't know. I'm just reading my chat, bro.
Tell me how to fall for.
You
Tell me,
solo
bro.
queue and you get Tricky Joshua. Goddamn.
We weren't even solo queued and we were getting Tricky Joshua. We're triple queued and we got Tricky Joshua.
I know, right? Yeah, you solo queue, you get triple Joshua. You don't.
Triple Joshua? No, please God, no. Please God. Anything but triple Joshua.
You triple queue, you still get Tricky Joshua. It's like it doesn't matter. We're getting him no matter what.
It's canon event, bro.
Right?
Yo, is that my guy?
Is that him again?
No, my Star-Lord. Oh, fuck, what was his name?
The same guy? Backshot?
Backshot Master. Backshot Master.
Type that in chat. Master Backshot. Is that you?
Backshot Master, is it you?
Backshot Master. Is that you?
Is it you?
Really weird. Who the fuck are you talking about?
And Backshot Master, my goat, bro. I'm getting a rename play and going triple Joshua, bro. PTSD, bro.
You should, and then you should hunt down Tricky Joshua.
Your fucking life's mission, bro. Hunt down that fucking Spider-Man.
Backshot Master. God damn, triple Joshua.
Maybe it's Backshot Amateur. Who knows, bro? Backshot Apprentice. Banning C and D is crazy, but okay. You got it.
Yeah.
Have you target banned?
They're targeting me, Mabon. They're targeting me.
Yep.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Your own team is targeting me, Mabon.
Yeah, they seen the win percentage I have with my my duo. They seen my best
Can't
teammate.
all be a master.
We can't all be a master. I told you, he might be Backshot Apprentice, bro. He might be Backshot Intern. He could be Backshot Amateur. He could be Backshot
Junior Backshot.
Junior. I don't know about that one. That one's that one might put you on a little registry.
Bro, it's like being a junior account.
Backshot Junior, guys. Backshot Junior.
Yeah, I don't like that one. Why everyone ban Groot when I try to learn him? I can't play him. Cause he's Groot, bro. He's Satoru Gruto, bro.
People think they can see right
Opening a
I am
portal.
Groot. That's literally.
Okay.
A portal in the map, guys.
You guys think this is gonna work in Diamond 1 lobbies?
Okay.
Portaling the spawn strat?
You think it would work better in diamond lobbies?
I don't think it would work better actually.
To stop them from securing the mission area.
Yeah, so that didn't work at all.
Yeah, of course it does.
Well, you tried.
At this point, if you're gonna play on this map, instead what you should do is just portal the 2 entrances.
Yeah, you should just portal the doors, bro.
Yep. It gives them like a solid 30 seconds boost. If he gets no one, jump off the map and type what the fuck, bro.
If my life wasn't valuable, then I would have done that, but... Oh fuck, your second sin already committing like multiple sins, bro. We lost Star-Lord? Aw, shit.
Any guy, I think he's back. Oh no.
No! Oh my god!
Girl barely survived. Oh no.
Fucking domestic abuse, bro. They have a Lord Cyclops on their team? Oh no, our guy's gonna get diffed, man. Fuck, yo, this is the battle of the ages, bro. Asian name Scott Cyclops versus someone whose name is Scott Summers Cyclops with the Lord icon. This is a... It's a aura off, bro.
Yay!
Not do that.
You don't want me to do that?
Holy, I'm talking about my teammates, bro. Actually, no, I'm talking about the enemy. I'm not even talking about my teammates. My teammates are just dying.
Invis died to backshot?
Fantastic.
I can't believe it. I'll patch you up.
Oh man.
Okay. Cyclops gap? Scott Summers getting gapped? You love to see it.
I am ready to put on a show.
What you gotta eat?
Nothing.
Okay, like a banana or something?
Holy fuck, dude. How did everybody live? Oh my god. What just
There's
happened,
actually
bro?
really no fruits in the house. No, the last bananas were used in a brownie.
The last banana. That's depressing,
Bananas.
bro.
It was actually 3. But yeah, it was
Any
used
more?
in a brownie. The brownies were nice and moist, and you know they had they smelled good. It was really good. It was actually really good. Guys, add some bananas in your brownies. Keeps the moisture. Really.
I usually just make banana bread.
This is real firepower.
And besides, the banana bread I like is just the chocolate chip banana bread, and that one. No.
Holy fuck, Cyclops. Let's go. Diff this bozo. And Emma, you do it too. And Invis, you do it too. Do it 3. Do it 4, actually. Portal? Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's good. Holy fuck, dude. Oh, not fantastic. I'm dead. Did we hold it down? Holy fuck, we held it down? Yo.
Current score is 0
We're cooking?
to 0. Time to switch things.
Game lag during TP, my bad. That's all good, man. Don't worry about it.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Who are you calling a raccoon?
Hey, bro, no disrespect. Hey, bro, no disrespect, but how you gonna be named Scott Summers? You tell him, bro. And get dipped on Cyclops? Bro got 2 R's, he's a fraud.
See, sure. But sometimes we take stuff other people are guarding.
First of all, don't address me. Dude, don't jinx the fuck out.
Whoa.
LMAO.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
We haven't won yet? Job not finished. Job not finished. Second of all, I can't do much.
Because if you do, let's get out of here.
Crazy, bro.
He's gonna blame his healers, aren't you?
I'm just joking. LOL.
Save the world.
Good save, good save.
I genuinely thought he'd start
I need to see at least 30 more kills on Rocket. Unfortunately...
Oh my God. What if he queue up into a game with that other Cyclops?
you want me to avoid him as teammate or something, bro? Like...
No, the one that was yelling at you.
Oh,
the one that...
You talking about Happy Chungus?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the name.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, he wasn't even bad. He was just annoying. Like, if you mute him, it was pretty good. At the end of the game, he got put in his place by Step Bro, so he's doing alright. And he wasn't MVP, so he couldn't even talk shit about the Bucky. He talked like smack about everybody else on the team.
Talking shit about Step Bro, saying that, oh, you got this. Well, look at the top whatever what was it? Pro Gamer got, and I'm like, why are you comparing someone else's stats to Step Bro? Like, because you can't say shit about yours. You know, if you start talking about your stats, Step Bro's gonna be like, you got diffed by a fucking Bucky. You're the fucking new character, you dipshit.
Yeah, he took the Cyclops from him too, bro.
Right?
So imagine what Pro Gamer would have cooked on Cyclops.
Next time, leave the
Who that
Cyclops
is?
to the Pro Gamer.
Aliko Same?
To be fair, Stepper was playing tanks. I don't think it even matters how many kills he gets.
I mean, the deaths
he
were a
makes-
lot, but also like it's kind of tough because he was kind of getting stuck by himself because the backline was getting cooked.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. This guy Scott Summers went to Deadpool, bro. That's crazy. Jeez, man. I might have more final hits than like some people on their team. It's gonna be embarrassing for them.
I don't think you do, but let's see.
I have 3 final hits. They only have 2 people that have more final hits than me. Yeah, it's Scott Summers and Mr. Fantastic. Everybody else has 2 or 0. I only did 1,647 damage, by the way, and I got 3 final hits. So basically, I'm the most efficient shooter of all time.
The motherfucker named Pro Gamer, they either god or ass, and he couldn't say nothing because he was just too good.
Yeah, exactly. If he was ass and his name was Pro Gamer, bro, he was getting flamed for sure.
Also, your deaths get boosted when Rocket is a healer. That revive one makes me more confident and gets me killed.
Yeah, that's also true. It's like an animal. You get a little cocky with it. What should I get for that game?
How much did you get for that?
26. Let's go!
Oh,
We're
wow,
ended the night at +1. Holy.
Oh my gosh.
We used to pray for times like this.
One more match.
What the fuck?
Who said that? Who said that?
Rico, don't fucking encourage that.
Who said
shit.
that?
One more match.
No.
One more match.
Shut the fuck up.
One more.
No.
Won't do nothing bad for you.
Rico, you don't know what the fuck we've been through today, okay?
What level's my rocket now? Level 39 rocket. Holy.
I just like to say though, you getting Tricky Joshua in your game as your opponent.
That was poetic though. It was meant to be. I can see the demon on your shoulder, man. It's manifesting.
Oh my gosh.
I'll start tweaking out, bro. I can't, bro. I can't.
End the stream, Maboon. End the stream.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was a good run, guys. We did
Thanks
good.
for coming.
We did great. Thanks for coming. Thanks for playing. Been a depressing run out of GM. Where is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
you ran out of GM. That's
holy dude.
You ran the fuck
We're
out
back
of
in
it.
Diamond 1. We've been Diamond 2 a couple times, but you know.
You're bouncing between Diamond 1 and Diamond 2. No offense.
Actually, you know what? Let's take this time to look at where Sabo is on the leaderboard in his endeavors. Is my boy still stuck in? Oh, he's in gold. No way. Fuck, I couldn't quick match.
Oh, that's your.
He's yo. This is the most depressing shit I've ever seen in my life. This run is so depressing.
Gold is hard to get out of.
Bro, silver was his problem, bro. He just got into gold now.
Oh, he did? Wait, let's see.
Oh my god.
He lost 0. Oh, he had the shield.
He lost 0. Yeah, that's how you know it's that bad, bro.
2. Wait, he lost 2 in one game. What is that game that he only lost 2?
Where did he lose 2?
Scroll up a bit. Scroll up a bit. No, scroll up a bit. I said a bit. You go back to the 0.
Okay, I
Find
found
the
it.
0 again.
Oh, someone left their team.
So how much did he get compensated? He only lost 2. God damn.
Motherfucker on their team named Poo Bucket, bro.
Bro lost 0.
Alright. Well, guess we're gonna end it there. Good runs, guys.
I feel like your friend Sabo is gonna catch up to us before we
Bro, that's not happening. Let me go back here real quick. What's his peak all time? I think it's like gold 2, bro.
I said he'll get to plat.
I said he's a he's a platinum level player.
Yeah.
I didn't say he was gonna get to plat.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
They go faith, huh?
God damn, you don't have any. You don't believe in.
Bro, we were in gold at the same time, and you know,
Fuck.
yeah. All right, well.
Okay, maybe he wasn't playing.
All right, well, good stream, guys. Turn this fucking game off.